baby. Oh my god. Ugh. Oh my god. Where's my webcam settings, man? Ugh. Alright. What am I missing? The lights. There we go. And of course, my hair is still flickering. Ugh. Ugh. What's up, chat? Can this thing go away, please? Oh, God. Fucking hell. What's up, chat? Ah. Ugh. I guess we have to admit, I mean, we've admitted this before, but we have to admit that these movies, man, they really fucking... How the fuck, like, these movies really did a number on this franchise because they actually put in some fucking effort. Like, I'm getting these really awkward moments where, like, I see trailers for Sonic games and I don't immediately spot red flags, and it makes me uncomfortable because it makes me feel like I'm losing my ability to spot red flags, but in reality it's like, maybe there are no flags. I don't know which one is scarier, the fact that there's no flags, or maybe me losing my ability to spot them. I'm not losing my ability. My abilities are A1, okay? Like, if I saw a red flag, I would spot, okay? I didn't spot not one red flag in the trailer. Like, that feels weird. It's almost like, you know, when a Mario game trailer comes out and they're just like, oh, this looks great, I'm gonna buy this. Like, but we don't get that with Sonic. We be getting like, okay, what's the issue now? Where's the cut corner now? Like, you know, that's usually how it is, and we're used to that. So when we start seeing trailers and we don't start spotting flags, your brain is like instinctively like, feels like it's missing something, so you try and find the thing that you're missing, and it's like, maybe there's nothing to find. Maybe there's no hidden layer. Maybe it just is what it is. You know? Like, I don't know. It's just, it's a weird feeling, okay? Because I've never felt that before. Okay, I mean, when you're a kid, everything's amazing, right? Every trailer is perfect. There's no flaws anywhere. But, like, as an adult, I haven't felt that for Sonic, you know? Like, as an adult, since I turned 18, how many Sonic games have come out? Lost World, Boom, Forces, Frontiers. The only Sonic games that have come out since I was an adult where there was no red flag was based off the trailers was Mania. Mania was just, you know, it was just solid. I mean, obviously the old zones being there, I wouldn't say it was a red flag because they weren't hiding it, they told you. That was the only critique I really had, was that. That's it. That's the only song that had no red flags. You know? I'm trying to think, what were the trailers like for Shadow Generations? But definitely Mania. That was the main one. That was the main one for sure. Yo, Afro Shoe Anderson, the $10 donation. Thank you so much for the support. Is Sonic back? Thanks for the info, Frank. Thank you for the support. I think this game more than Shadow Gems, more than Frontiers, this game is the real ultimate test. Okay? This is the real. I know you guys are thinking, how is this the real test? It's just a fucking racing game, right? But think about it. Look at musicians, right? Everyone remembers the casual shit, the hit songs. Like your hardcore fans, they know the albums, they know all the songs. Most people remember the hits. You go to the average person and mention Michael Jackson, they know Billie Jean, right? They know Smooth Criminal, right? Like, not every person that knows Michael Jackson knows, you know, random song off of history. But like, they'll know the big songs. And that's what a racing game is. It's like the casual game. Like, I have to remind people sometimes because like they be forgetting. Like, let's go back to Mario, right? This is the list of the best-selling video games of all time. Okay? Mario Kart 8 is 4th. Ever. Like, in the history of video games that have ever been sold, Mario Kart 8 is the 4th highest selling game. The only things above it is Minecraft, GTA 5, and Wii Sports, which they really need to beat Wii Sports, seriously. Like, seriously. But, like, and that's another casual game as well. But, like, it's not Smash, it's not Mario Odyssey, it's not none of the, like, single-player masterpieces, none of that. It's not even a 2D Mario. It's Mario Kart, okay? It's Mario Kart. So when we talk about a racing game, if you do it right, you market it right, and the online actually functions and people are there, it has the potential to be bigger than any main series single player release, because everyone can pick up and play a racing game, right? It's a racing game, it's a kart racer. You know, it's built for that casual audience. This is supposed to be the hit song. The main games are like the album cuts. You need this to work. They need to be aiming for like, and I know this sounds ambitious because we're talking about Sonic, right? But they need to be aiming for like 10 million units. Like, they need to push this shit, okay? This is the real test. This. Because single player game like Frontiers, it comes out, you play it, you beat it, it's done. They might drop some DLC, but it's a single player game. I love single player, I'm just saying. But something like this, with online and support and new content, new tracks, if they keep adding like what Mario Kart did with the booster course, DLC and things like that, and the new characters that they'll add over time, if you support it, you could have people playing for years, right? So, for me, this is the ultimate test. Can you make a game that transcends the average Sonic fan? That regular people just want to play it because it's a racing game that looks fun, and they don't give a fuck about the main series entries and all the other shit. That's, for me, that's the real test, you know? Because Sonic hasn't done that yet with an actual console game. Like, they got Sonic Dash on the phone, like, people swipity swipe, you know, but, like, they haven't done that on a console game. I think Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games did crazy. That did crazy numbers, the first one, because it's like Mario and Sonic did a game together. What did Transform do in terms of sales? What did the racing? I think Sonic All Stars Racing Series. That can't be right. Can't be 2.4 for the whole thing. It's so hard to get sales figures on a lot of these games. They don't give you all the data. Transformed 1.3, All Stars Racing 1. Like, Riders I don't think was big either. Riders wasn't that big. Riders 1.1 on PS2. Everything else is not showing up. You know, Mario and Sonic was huge. The first one, that shit was crazy. Look at that. They did like, the series did 30 mil, and like half of it's from the first one. But that's like Mario and Sonic doing a song together. It's just like, it's one of those internet breaking moments. It'll be like if Drake and Kendrick did a song together, like right now. That's internet breaking shit, you know? So I understand why it did so much, because you could argue that later ones were better and they sold less because the novelty had worn off. So for me, like, I mean, I don't want to set unrealistic expectations for Sonic, because I know they don't sell as much, but I really do want them to, like, make a online game that can hit, you know, the 8 figures, like, hit 10 million units. It doesn't have to happen straight away. I mean, Mario Kart's been selling for over a decade now. They've really milked it. They're really on the GTA timeline at this point. It's decade long. But like, if they keep supporting it every year and they market it every year, and then movie 4 comes out and they have some, you know, movie Amy like customizations in their movie Amy skin, Metal Sonic, maybe Silver if he's in movie 4, have a skin for that. If they put that in a game, if that movie's coming out say 2027, then you're still promoting the game, you're still pushing the racing game. So it's like, by 2027, assuming like you've been supporting it every year, adding new tracks every year, adding new characters every year, then the game you'd have in 2027 would be way bigger and more expansive than the game you'd have now. So by then, when you're promoting it, it's like even more reason to get it if you haven't gotten it already. So it's like, if they really push it, I'm not saying 10 mil straight away, but like if you push over several years, you could do a 10 mil. But you have to take it seriously. You know, you have to work it. You have to market. You can't just put it out and just see what happens and then on to the next game. You really have to like make it a mission to be like, we want a game that everyone's playing. You know? That's what I'm saying. You know, I think with Sonic's clout right now, 10 mil is possible, but they still have to work it. They can't just, you know. Nintendo, I don't even know what their marketing plan is. Mario Kart 8 is just sold so fucking well. I don't know what they did differently compared to previous games in terms of marketing, or was it just the fact that Mario Kart 8 was so fucking good? Because, I mean, when it first launched, it wasn't the greatest thing ever. I liked it, obviously. It was Mario Kart, and the graphics were, for a Mario Kart game, were amazing, but it was the way they kept adding content. You just, every time you came back, it's like the game kept getting better and better and better. So by the time, you know, they got to the booster course part, it was just like, it was like so much great shit. I mean, 8 was bundled with Switches, that's true, but, you know, I don't think that's the sole reason, though. I mean, obviously, the Wii Sports effect is real. Like, let's not get it twisted. But, you know, they bundled it with the Switch because they knew people would want it. You know, you don't bundle mid with the system. Well, they bundled 1-2 Switch. Wait, did they bundle 1-2 Switch? I don't think they bundled 1-2 Switch. But you bundle it because you know it's something that people would actually play, right? You wouldn't risk and bundle something random with the Switch, right? You know? Like, it was definitely a thing that people seeked out. You know? Because, like, if we look at Switch games, I mean, Animal Crossing, Smash Ultimate, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, like, New Super Mario Bros. Did crazy numbers on Switch as well. Pokemon, like, I mean, it's Mario Kart. It's the ultimate game for casuals and for hardcore players. And that's the thing. It's for everyone, right? Like, when I play 200cc because I like the challenge. Unless I'm really like tired and not in the mood, and then I might play 150. But I usually play 200. But like when I take my Switch to like a friend's house and it's just like 4 of us playing or whatever, they want to be playing 150. Like sometimes you even get people wanting to play 100. Like it has the CC thing really makes it for everyone. Because if they just release the game at 50cc or 100cc, like hardcore players will get bored of it really fucking fast. Okay. And if they just released it at 200cc, then casuals would feel like it's too chaotic, right? And that's the thing about Sonic. They don't know how to do both. They always like just pick one and then they just do that. So Riders is like mechanically deep. Casuals don't know how to get into it, you know? And then like Team Sonic Racing was very, very simplistic You know, it just felt too easy and not too engaging, because Izuka himself went on record saying he wanted his kids to be able to play the game, so he made it easy. Or he added the team mechanic, so I guess the stronger player could carry the team, I guess. But it's just, I don't know. You have to do both. And that's how you get a game that everyone play. It's like what Street Fighter 6 did, right? Like, you still kept the classic mode in, so you didn't piss off, like, the hardcore, like, people that love the motion inputs. But then you put the modern mode in there, gave other people, like, the ability to, like, play it, enjoy it, like, give it a go. And then on top of that, then they had the other, like, OP one that you can't use online, just, like, for some local play, you know, just to mash some buttons. Like, if you got a kid who just wants to mash some buttons, like, I think developers are really finally starting to understand how to do these things, like balance difficulty levels, right? And it's time for Sega and Sonic Team to learn that as well, I think. You know, Yubi said first two All-Stars Racing had a good balance, second All-Stars was more skill-based, first one was more Mario Kart, if that makes sense. I played the All-Stars games a little bit, but not enough to really remember, like, the intricacies of them, right? Like, I played I was not really following like that when the All-Stars games came out. Like, I just didn't check for them like that. I played All-Stars Racing a little bit, and then I played Transformed a little bit. I guess I wasn't that hooked, but, you know, I don't know. I wasn't that hooked. Because, obviously, Mario Kart was running things, and I wasn't getting the feeling that this was stronger. You know, you could argue that Transformed was stronger than maybe Mario Kart 7, because Transformed came out before Mario Kart 8. But I think by the time I played Transformed, I think Mario Kart 8 was already out. I'm trying to remember the timelines on that. So because I'd already played 8, going back to like Transformed, I was like, yeah, that's cool. You know, because I feel like Mario Kart 8 took some inspiration from Transformed. That's a conspiracy, but I feel like it did. But I think by the time I played Transform, I was like, I've already got Mario Kart 8. I'm not really feeling like I need this, you know? I know that people will play the Sonic version just because it's Sonic characters. I understand that Sonic fans will do that. But I think to get the casual audience, you definitely want to have something that's a bit different other than it's all characters, you know? Because if you look at, like, so many franchises that try to make gimmick kart races, like SpongeBob, I think, has a kart. Like, so many of them have them. But if it's just, oh, it's a weaker Mario Kart, but it's all characters, you get some sales. But not enough to really, like, if there's nothing unique about it, it's not enough to really grab people. That's why Crash Team Racing works so well, because it played differently. I mean, it wasn't as casual friendly, maybe, but because of its unique mechanics, there was a reason to play Crash Team Racing, and not just Mario Kart, you know, like, those things. And I think that's what Riders had, is it was like, this isn't a kart racer. This is hoverboards, trick system is different. It made it unique. And when they went into the racing route, then it became, okay, this is just like Mario Kart, but not as strong. So, I don't know. Yubi said, I grew up with both, mainly the first one. First one was a good Sega Mario Kart clone. The second one introduced the boat and fly and made for some cool dynamic stages. I think I remember when I was younger, I preferred All-Stars Racing to Transformed. And it had nothing to do with, like, the quality of the game. It was just the fact that Jason was in All-Stars Racing, and I just liked hearing Jason. I was like, I'd rather play the Jason Racer, okay? Like, like, I'm dead ass. I really thought like I said that shit. But, like, those two games kind of blended together for me. Even though Transform has more improvements, it was just like, yeah, but Jason, you know? But yeah, I definitely think Riders is a great concept, but I do think it's interesting that they're trying to blend the Transform with the Riders. I think it could work if they do it properly. But yeah, we got footage to go through. We got info. Like, if you saw the last video that we covered here, like, so much shit happened after then that we need to go through. So much shit. Someone said Riders is a perfect concept, flawed execution to the public. I mean, the execution could have been better, but I mean, a lot of the Sonic Racing games suffered from not enough content. TSR had 7 environments and they just multiplied them by 3 with the axe to get 21 tracks. Riders had They did the act structure on Riders as well. How many tracks did Riders have? It was like 7 as well. What is this? Close that. Right? How many tracks did Riders have? It wasn't that many. Yeah, you had 8 areas, and then they doubled it with the second act versions. Like 8 areas, and this was around 2006. Mario Kart DS had 32 tracks, so you had 32 areas. This game had 8 times 2. It was really 8, but then they slightly tweak it to make it 16. So it was 8 versus 32. You know, the content itself was fun. It just wasn't enough of it. You know, so these are all the things at play. But I think the main issue with Riders was they didn't know how to make it again casual friendly while not sacrificing the what made it really fun. You know, and then Zero Gravity tried to solve this by just stripping all the good mechanics and making it overly simplistic, which obviously didn't work. And then Free Riders was a Connect gimmick, so, you know, it was just a whole mess. Someone said, do you think we get Infinites? I feel like if they support this game for several years and they keep adding content, which I hope they do, you can't not have Infinite. I feel like he should be in the game, right? I feel like he's a... I've realized people don't like Infinite. I still like Infinite. I think Infinite is a character I want to see come back. So I would like to see him be in the game. I would definitely play as him occasionally. I mean, I'd probably main Silver though, but you know. Are we gonna get movie Shadow? I mean, if this game, if they know what's good for them, they're gonna have movie skins in here. Like, they have to. Like, they have to. But yeah, we gotta go through some footage. IGN dropped some footage. There's news, there's manuals, there's a bunch of shit. So we gotta go through a bunch of things. So we're gonna quickly go into, well, I say quickly, but it's probably gonna be a while. Do I take Song Quest? I don't think I'm doing Song Quest today because we're gonna be looking at a bunch of footage. JXP said, I think blending all elements might have been the best option. It would have preferred a standalone Riders game, but I suppose including the cost also help capture the casual audience. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, like, I think if you go all in on Riders, I think people would still give it a go if you market it well enough, especially with the movie clout now. But I get that the cause is more people recognize them. But then also the problem is that when you do that, people then also want to compare it to Mario Kart even more because it's in a car. Seesaw Ocean donated $5 and said, nah, friend, you gotta admit the gravity mechanic was a good mechanic. What, the zero gravity? Look, I mean, I wasn't a fan of zero gravity, okay? I just wasn't. I don't like that they took out the trick system. Every time you wanted to do a basic turn, you had to do that music with the slow-mo. Like, I just wasn't a fan. You know, I just wasn't a fan. Surely the carts people just think, yeah, I already got Mario Kart. That is the issue. It's like when you make the carts, then it's like people just compare it to Mario Kart. Whereas if it's a hoverboard, people, I mean, they might still try and compare, but it's very different now, you know. But even then, even if it is compared to Mario Kart, you still have the advantage of Mario Kart is only on Switch. So if you make a competent enough kart racer and you make it multiplayer, then you can at least capture the other platforms. Although most of the people that like a good kart racer would already have a Switch, because let's face it, great kart racers are hard to find outside of Switch, you know. Anyway, before we start, there's one tweet that I had open, so we're gonna take a look at it. Why is Kanye's wife trending? Anyway, it says Sonic 3 has now entered the top 300 highest grossing movies of all time. So this is from 3rd of February. This is a while ago. I had it open for a while. But I think it's a good way to start because it highlights how the movies are just doing so much for reviving the energy and the budget into this franchise and where we are. Because, like, you know, shit has changed so much, you know. Someone says, speaking of riders, I saw a video on Roger's Supersonic voice acting in Free Riders and thought it sounded amazing. I really wish he'd go in that direction. I saw those clips as well. I think people were posting them on Discord. And yeah, Roger actually sounded less bad there. Mainly because he was trying to sound like Jason. But you know. Oh yeah, we need to talk about this quickly before we get into the racing game. Because I didn't make a video on this. A trademark was filed on January 29th for Sonic Blitz. So this is official. Sega filed a trademark for Sonic Blitz. So there's going to be a release called Sonic Blitz. People don't know what it is, but it's an official trademark. So everyone's wondering what it's going to be. But my assumption is that it is, what's it called? Where's the Midori tweet? Midori dropped a tweet basically mapping out a bunch of games that were gonna come. So the Fall Guys like game is obviously Rumble. So this is before Rumble came out. So again, Midori mentioned all of this. He said there was gonna be a Chao game that was a Netflix exclusive, and then a Sonic Sports game that was an Apple Arcade exclusive. So again, Midori already got Rumble correct. So my assumption is that Sonic Blitz sounds like it's probably the sports game that would be an Apple Arcade exclusive. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up for like Street Fighter but Sonic. You know, it's probably just gonna be some kind of sports game on Apple Arcade or something. I wouldn't get my hopes up for Sonic Blitz in terms of being something major, but it will still be a game. We could try it out. Brandon Williams donated $5 and said the first Sonic movie turns 5 years old tomorrow. Happy early Valentine's. Oh shit, it's been 5 years? Holy fuck. Like, that is actually crazy. That is crazy. You know, that's actually insane. Like, that was a whole half a decade ago. Someone said, didn't Izuka already confirm that they won't make a Chao game? You taking Izuka's word for something? Izuka's word? Good luck with that. What's this tweet? Oh yeah, Sonic Team is confirmed as the developers of the racing game. So it's not just like a side project. It's not like a Sumo gonna do that. Sonic Team's actually doing it. So I'm guessing Sonic Team is bigger now. So whoever's working on Frontiers 2 behind the scenes they've got some people working on this as well. It's not like all of Sonic Team. I think, you know, it's one of those things where it's like the team is bigger, they can do multiple things now. Because Sonic Team used to stick their name on everything anyway. Like even when Sonic Rush came out, it was Dimps. They put Sonic Team's name on it either way. So it's one of those things. Oh yeah, someone sent this to me. Apparently we're going through like a loop, basically. We got Colors and now we got Colors Ultimate. Then it was Generations, and we got classic game, non-classic game. I don't know how Forces and Frontiers are connected though. I don't see the connection. And then a racing game. I mean, you should really be on a cycle though. Like it's basically pillars, right? But I understand. You know, at the end of the day, what else have we got? Someone said 4chan leaked Sonic Crossworlds a year ago. I mean, every Sonic game leaks. It's just that the leaks are covered in a sea of fake leaks, so you don't know what's real, right? So someone said this is the 4chan leak from 28 February 2024, and I guess they had a play test where they tried like a test version of the game, and it said Sonic Racing Gate Travelers. So before they came up with the name Crossworlds, they were calling it Gate Travelers, and they said Ocean View and Neo Stadium were the two stages, and the main gimmick was portals, and they transfer you to different worlds, tracks. The current ones are dinosaur themed, sky themed, and casino. So that the dinosaur jungle from Secret Rings, I think. They said 24 playable characters, and they mentioned the Lost World villains, Jet, Amy, Big Knuckles, Robotnik, and Sage. Sonic and Jet had rideable hoverboards. So they mentioned the hoverboards, car customization, and cross-platform, $60. Sonic says don't text and drive, that's an actual line. Other possible names are Sonic Racing Portal Panic and Sonic Racing Warped. So yeah, they had playtests. Obviously, Frontiers had playtests as well, so it makes sense that this got playtests. Interesting though. $60, they're not playing around. Like, that movie clout is really. Yo, Rufix Legacy Productions with the $10 donation. Thank you so much for the support. A lot to unpack here, specifically with the extreme gear. I think they're replicating the trick and air system as best as possible. It's why in the new footage none of the CPUs are on it and not in the beta test. I mean, I still have to go through all the info, but I do think they're trying to do the trick system from Riders, but I don't know if they're going to have the ranking letters like they did before. But they're probably trying to find some kind of middle ground where it's not as basic as like Zero Grav or TSR, but it's also not as intense as Riders. They're probably trying to find some kind of balance for it or something. Yeah, so here, Tails channel summarized some news, but I think we're gonna go on the website for the full news, but 23 races at launch, and they said a ton more on the way, which I love to see that. A ton more on the way. It shows that they want to actually support the thing. That's really... They have to support it. Like, it's so important that they don't just put it out and just leave it. It's so important that they take it seriously. More tracks than ever before. Race across 24 main tracks and use travel rings to transport to 15 crossworlds. So the crossworlds are really like completely separate things that are not like going to be their own tracks. They're just the crossworld elements. And 24 main tracks is interesting because I do wonder, and this is me being skeptical because, you know, Sega, sometimes they do that. Is it 24 individual environments? Or is it one of their, like, it's like 8 environments and then we've done 3 acts to make it 24? That's one thing I'm wondering right now. I like to believe that their budget's increased and it's individual. Because that would be the better option and the better outcome. And if it is individual, this is officially the biggest Sonic Racing game ever, because they never have 24 individual environments in any. I don't think. I mean, how many did Transformed have? I'm rusty on Transformed, but I don't think it had that many individual environments. I don't mean like multiple acts of the same area, but like how many tracks did Transformed have? Okay, I had a decent amount here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 16. That was 20. That's not bad. Yubi said Transform had 24, but 4 were reused. Oh, so what? 24 tracks, but then they reused 4 of them, or what? Well, there's a bonus level here, so it's like 21 tracks. That's pretty expensive. I mean, Transform was the biggest in terms of content before this game, I guess. So that makes sense. That's a decent amount of content. I might have to replay Transformed at some point just to like refresh my memory of it, because it's been so long since I touched this game. It's 21, 4 were reused. So if 4 are reused, then okay, so how many original then? Are you saying 21 minus 4, or are you saying like, oh, they got Super Monkey Ball on that shit? Okay, that's nice. Yeah, it's been a while since I played this game. To be fair, even Mario Kart reuse visual stage assets. I mean, Mario Kart has old content in terms that they take it from other games, but I don't think the point is taking from other games. That's not really the issue. It's like the same game. And I mean, Mario Kart has done that too. Like Mario Kart DS had like so many like what's it called, areas that look similar. Like, was it like the road areas? Like you had Mushroom Bridge and then you had Shroom Ridge, and it was like, I'm trying to remember which courses they were. Let me see. Let me look at the track list for Mario Kart DS, also known as the GOAT. God, the carts in DS are the B dash. Oh my god, DS. I'm getting nostalgic. You see, I'm getting nostalgic. Yeah, so Mario Circuit is like a circuit, and then Shroom Ridge is similar. It's another road with green in the background. Then you got Figure 8 Circuit, you know, and then you got Luigi Circuit, and then you got I mean, look, there's similarities in terms of assets. There were a lot of circuits, okay? Like, we're not gonna deny that, okay? There's definitely reuse, you know? But I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's not the biggest issue. Like, I wasn't annoyed with Riders for having like multiple acts of an area, like how they had the Babylon versions that were slightly different. I think it's fine to have multiple versions of one area, as long as the total amount of areas is enough, right? you know. So in the case of Transformed, which I feel like I had that open here, if it's a decent amount of original areas, it's still fine. And I think the most important thing nowadays, because obviously DS came out in a different time, but nowadays that we're updating games, I think it's more important now to be adding content, you know, because at the end of the day, it's like, if you're adding new areas, then the game is going to flesh out over time anyway. It doesn't have to be perfect on launch, right? So the way I see it, if you're really supporting this game, every new Sonic game that comes out with a new environment, there should be like a version in the racing game, or some environment should make it in. So if they drop like, let's say they drop Frontiers 2 in 2026 November, then a really cool, like 2 of the cool environments in Frontiers 2, or maybe even 3 of them, make it into the racing game, because it's like, it's content, right? That way the racing game is getting more content. If there's a spin-off game, or even a Sonic Dream Team or something like that, maybe you put some of the Dream Team levels in the racing game, like, so that everything is getting representation, you know? That's the way I see it. Like, as long as there's enough content, enough variety, then it's fine. Like, I'm not saying it's like you've got one environment, you can't reuse any assets at all, you know? It's just, it shouldn't feel like there's only like 7 environments and you've reused them 3 times and that's it. Do you think Metal City will come back? I mean, I hope it does. I hope it does. Like, Metal City is like really nostalgic for me. You say that, then you regret it when they add Chaos Island. I mean, I think Chaos Island would be a great track. I don't see why I wouldn't want to race on Chaos Island. Aesthetically, Chaos Island is beautiful. Like, if you just look at the images of Chaos Island, like the volcano theme, like if you had good set, you got the volcano part, you got the blue sky here, then you got the greenish areas, and you got things like that. Like, I don't see why Chaos Island wouldn't be a great track to race on, you know? I think it'll be a great track, you know? Another way they reuse assets is when it's like sand and things like that, because like you could have an Ares Island level, and then you could have a Desert Ruins level from Lost World, and then you could have what's the name of the desert level in 06? Dusty Desert. They do shit like that. It's like, well, it's all sand, so it's quicker to make, but it's all different levels technically, you know. Someone said, I hope it won't be 60. Oh, it's definitely gonna be 60. It's gonna be 60. The only way it's not 60 is if it's 50 and then the digital deluxe is 60. Then maybe you could get it for 50. I don't see them, because someone asked me this on my Premier stream. I checked right now. Team Sonic Racing is still $40 on Steam, and that's Team Sonic Racing. This is gonna be at least 50, probably 60, but at least 50. You know. But yeah, like, or if they wanted to reuse casino environments, they could do Casino Park, Casinopolis, Bingo High. I don't know. There's so many ways they could do it. I need to get some fucking. My throat. Ugh. I need some strepsils. Ugh. Someone said, don't want to sound like a hater, but this new game looks so behind. Doesn't look as good as Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fuel, or Mario Kart 8. Not even Mario Kart 7. Okay, no. Mario Kart 7, that's pushing it, okay? Mario Kart 7 wasn't all that. Mario Kart 7 was cool, but it wasn't all that, okay? Like, my problem with Mario Kart 7 is it was too fucking slow. Like, that shit was... Like, I need you to go back to Mario Kart 7 after playing, like, even 150 in Mario Kart 8 is faster than 150 in Mario Kart 7. And it's even worse after you play 200cc. Mario Kart 7 was slow. Like, it was slow. I don't know what it is with that game. Even 150 on that game feels like a snail's pace. You know? Someone said, can we get a Soleona track? That would be lit. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's another thing I was saying about the environments. You could do Chaos Island and then tweak the assets and then do Flame Core. Like, there'll be so much reuse and people, they'll get away with it because it's technically a different zone. Someone said MK7 was... Mario Kart 7 is slow. I did a test. I played Waluigi Pinball on Mario Kart DS 150cc. And I played Waluigi Pinball on Mario Kart 7 150cc. You finish the laps quicker on DS. The same course. 7 is slow. Okay? I don't know what they did on that game, but they decided to make it slower than the others. It was slow. And I enjoyed 7. At the time it came out, I played it. But it's not gonna go in the Hall of Fame of Mario Kart games. I'm sorry. You know, it just wasn't. It was just too fucking slow. I mean, it had some decent courses in it though. Let me see. What were the new tracks in 7? Actually, let me check. The let me see what the new tracks were. Toad Circuit's just a circuit. Daisy Hills was cool. Cheat Sheet Lagoon was good. Neo Bowser City, that was a good one. Piranha Plant Side is goated. That's for sure goated. They brought that back in 8 and they did justice with it. Rainbow Road was really good. Okay, I'll give you that. I'm trying to remember the Bowser's Castle. It's been so long. Rosalina's Ice Wall, they brought that back. And DK Jungle, they brought that back. Yeah, had a few decent ones in there. The retro roster was pretty solid. Calamari, Koopa Trooper, GBA Bowser's Castle was goated. I don't care what anyone says. GBA Bowser's Castle was goated. Waluigi Pinball's obviously goated. Coconut Mall's obviously goated. Airship Fortress is goated. SNES Rainbow Road should be in every Mario Kart from here on out. I don't give a fuck. You know. Have I seen the new footage yet? Oh, we're about to get to that. Don't worry. I know I'm taking too much time. Okay. We were just reading this. Dominate your opponents with 23 different power-up items, including favorites and all new items like the monster truck. Choose from 45 unique original vehicles, including extreme gear boards. Mix and match character vehicles via the perfect combo. Someone said the only thing I don't like about Crossworlds right now is seeing Sonic doing tricks on the board. Everything just looks so sanitized. Animations were too snappy in his unstylized model. That's another thing I was saying is like I love the vehicle customization that they're doing, but I really hope they have character customization. I don't mean like the fucking Forces OC shit. No, I mean like skins. Like they should add in like models from previous Sonic games as like content like you can unlock. Like what if I want to play as 06 Sonic or SA1 low poly Sonic or you know Rider Sonic, you know that model. I feel like that should be a thing that like over time like they add a skin from a previous game. Obviously movie Sonic isn't as they should do that. And they mentioned Sonic Prime, which we'll get to in a sec. So it leads me to believe that they really do want to do something like that. But I guess we'll see. Because I feel like Sonic has got such a rich history of like models and styles that it would be really cool if they brought that into the racing game, you know? What tweet is this? Oh yeah, sign up for the closed network test before February 19th for a chance to play. I already signed up to this, but again, it's randomized, it's not guaranteed, so there's no guarantee that I'll get it. But basically next week some people are going to be playing this game, you know? No special treatment for us Sonic tubers. I mean, we only gave 10 years of our life to covering this franchise. No guaranteed, like, access to the closed beta, you know. We ain't got the juice like that, you know. Someone said, I feel Crossworlds has to be free to play or have a free to play version. If not, Mario Kart 9 is going to beat this game down hard. I mean, I have debated as to whether they could pull off selling it up front and still get the online to be popping off, as opposed to making it free to play. Because the moment you make it free to play, people will give it a go, you know. But if you make it free to play, then there will be microtransactions, obviously. You know, but they'll probably still let you grind for the cosmetics anyway. But free to play would guarantee it popping off online because people would give it a go. But upfront means you get guaranteed money, which doesn't benefit me, it benefits them. But I don't know. Lonely Goomba says it does not need to be free to play. I'm just concerned about the online, that's all. That's all I'm concerned about. Because if you sell it for $60, Sonic fans will buy it. It looks decent enough that Sonic fans will buy it, but it's that wider audience that I'm like, will they get it? Right now, your biggest benefit is that this is coming to Switch 1 at a time when Switch 2 is coming out, and Mario Kart 9 is coming out, and there's going to be a bunch of Switch 1 owners who won't upgrade in the first 1, 2, maybe even 3 years. And those people might be feeling the Mario Kart 9 FOMO and might pick the Sonic Racing game on Switch 1 as a, I don't want to say consolation prize, but like, it's Mario Kart 9, right? But the moment you make it free to play, I mean, you could make it free to play and then everyone tries it and then they don't like it. Or they don't think it's all that and then they just leave it. You might actually be better off charging for it and then making it free to play in like 3 years. And then spend that 3 years building the content, adding so much content to it that it's so stacked that by the time you make it free to play and the casuals try it for the first time, it's so stacked that it's like, oh my god, I'm hooked. But on launch, it might be like too dry to like, you know, hook people straight away. It might hook the hardcorers, but you might need that support. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. When Mario Kart 8 first came out, I didn't think it was the best Mario Kart. When it was new, when there was no 200cc, when the battle mode was as dry as it was on launch, when there was way less track, I was like, I like it. It's a good Mario Kart. It's got nice tracks. Is this the best one? No. But once they kept updating it, they did the 200, they did the Wii U DLC, not the booster course, the Wii U DLC. Then they did the deluxe, and then they did then it was like, okay, this. Remember Mario Kart 8 on Wii U? You couldn't even hold 2 power-ups. They removed the ability to hold 2 power-ups, which you could do in all the previous Mario Karts. So I wasn't a fan of that. So like when they really updated it and like sorted everything out, fixed the battle mode, it became like truly legendary. So it might be a case of just like make it 60, maybe have a little free demo, you know, but then when you make it free to play in like 4 years, by then it's like so stacked full of content that anyone who tries is gonna be hooked. I don't know. They should at least give a free trial out like what Crash Team 1 would, so people can try it out. Yeah, I mean, I think they should. I think they should. Like, people should give it a go. Like, I think people are more open-minded nowadays because the movies have done great PR for Sonic right now. But I think because the movies are such a big draw for Sonic, if they're gonna have a trial, you know, you should have movie skins ready to go to just like grab those people as well, you know. Someone said, is Mario Kart 9 not going to be on Switch 1? There's no way Mario Kart 9 is coming to Switch 1. No way. Okay. That's a system seller. Okay. There's no way it comes to Switch 1. How would you feel if they added Elise playable? Elise is goated, so that would be great. In fact, they should do that shit. Okay. They should do that shit. You know. I don't care who the character is. Like, make them play. If they're a character and they got clout, fucking make Antoine playable. I don't give a fuck. Like, make Sally Acorn playable. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, just pad out the roster. I don't care. Like, what's gonna make the online player basis if the matchmaking actually works? TSOS online was unplayable. Yeah, I mean, of course, but the most important thing is you have to have players. Having people online is not easy. What's the name of that website that tracks like concurrent players on like Steam? Didn't they say that Sonic Adventure 2 on Steam's like concurrent players spiked after movie 3 came out or something like that? So SA2, 600 playing an hour ago, 687 in 24-hour peak. And the all-time, so this is the all-time peak. This is concurrent players. So SA2 on Steam, the highest amount of people that were playing at one point was 1,819. Let's see Team Sonic Racing. Now obviously this is just Steam, it's not consoles, right? So the highest concurrent amount of players for Team Sonic Racing on PC, 971. Not even 1,000 people were on PC playing this at once, right? That's kind of embarrassing, right? At once, for a game that has multiplayer and online. So I'm gonna say check transformed. Alright, let's see transformed. Collection. Okay. 5,800. So that's a lot better. If you figure an average race is gonna be what? How many races are gonna be in each race? Is it 12? So if you got 5,800, if we assume that some of them might be playing single player shit like locally, if we assume that 25% will be playing online, that's still 1,000 people on the servers, right? I mean, that's the all-time peak, so I don't know what it is on a regular day, because over here it says 132 in the last 24 hours. But you need a certain number of baseline people that are always trying to connect, so there's always people to play with. You know? Because right now it says the 24-hour peak is 132, and the 24-hour peak for TSR is 48. So you need a baseline amount so people can always find a connection, basically. Someone said, what about Frontiers? Well, I mean, we can't check every game, but obviously Frontiers is single player, but we'll check Frontiers. Frontiers at 19,000. Which makes sense, because it's a single player game. It was heavily marketed. When it first came out, it was gonna get a peak, right? It's natural. But yeah, I'm talking about online shit. But the point is, you need that support. I don't know what the baseline number is. If, like, with Mario Kart 8, there's probably like, Nintendo probably have the statistics of the amount of people that are online, and they probably go, we need at least this amount of people to be online at any given point for the online to not be dead. Is it 1,000 people, 2,000 people? I don't know, but they have a number that's like safe. So you want to make sure you're always hitting that threshold. And the way to do that is to obviously market the game, keep it in people's heads, and always be adding new content. Have, like, I guess the RPG elements to keep people like grinding and improving. Actually, let me check Street Fighter. I want to see Street Fighter. Ooh, that's crazy. Ooh, 33,000 just in the last day. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway. What's OG All-Stars looking like? Okay, let me check. Let me check that one actually. Did the first one have online? I don't even remember. Oof. I got more people than that right now watching my stream. You didn't see anyone cover Rumble? Because they didn't release Rumble on Steam. They said it was coming, and it hasn't come. So I don't know what their plan is with that. Now that the music has run out, we should probably just get to the video. But like, yeah, All Stars 1 on PC had no online. Yeah, it had no online. So you know. But yeah, IGN's got a exclusive first preview, 7 minutes 39 seconds. There's new gameplay. Even though it says 1080p, the quality is shit. I don't know what IGN was doing with that, but we're gonna take a look. I haven't watched it yet, so I actually don't know what to expect, and if I'll be wild or not, we'll see. But yeah, it's IGN's fault that the footage looks so low res. Blame them.
Comparisons out of the way first, Sonic Racing Crossworlds feels closer to Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed era of games as opposed to the more recent Team Sonic Racing, but has taken advantage of the enhancements that Team Sonic Racing brought to the table. While I've enjoyed both formats, the 3-character mechanic of building a team to work together to coordinate racing and drift lines is gone. Instead, Crossworlds goes back to the Mario Kart's everyone for themselves format. Like Mario Kart, it shares some similarities.
Okay, hold on. Mario Kart's everyone for themselves. Mario Kart didn't invent everyone for themselves. Like, I mean, let's relax with that, okay? Like, racing existed before Mario Kart. Like, that's ridiculous. But anyway, what's up, gamer guy?
From the items on the course to the various shortcuts and kart customization. However, while it shares some DNA, Sonic Racing Crossworlds evolves beyond what we've gotten from its now 11-year-old competitor. Now, one area that Crossworlds may come up short in compared to Team Sonic Racing is so far there is no sign of an adventure mode.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what?
Crossworlds evolves beyond what we've gotten from its now 11-year-old competitor. Now, one area that Crossworlds may come up short in compared to Team Sonic Racing is so far there is no sign of an adventure mode, but this wasn't
the adventure mode was like the main story mode, right? So they took out the story mode. I mean, I guess you don't need a story mode for it to be good. Mario Kart is just like, here's the tracks, play them, you know? If the tracks are that good, you're still gonna play it. Although I do like a good story. I like Diddy Kong Racing, you know. But, you know, and Riders obviously had a good story as well. Like, obviously the story is something you're going to play like a couple times and then you're going to go to play online. So, but, again, the story is a good thing. It would be nice to have one. But I think ultimately having great tracks and great online is the most important thing. So I guess we'll see.
Early look, so that might be one of the many reveals that the team is saving for later.
Wait, hold on.
Team Sonic Racing is so far there is no
So
sign
far.
of adventure mode, but
No
this was
sign.
an early look, so that might be one of the many reveals that the team is saving
Yeah, I mean, it might still be in there.
for later. While many elements mimic its competitors, the green and red rocket-powered glove
Knuckles is going crazy on the tree. Look at Knuckles, man. He's not playing around.
team
You
is
see that
saving
shit?
for later.
He's not playing around. Like he came to work.
While
Look at
many
this
elements
dude.
mimic its competitors, the
Look
green
at this man.
that the team
He's
is
not
saving
in the
for later.
mood. He's trying to get that rank X. I don't even know if they got rankings, but if there's
While
rankings,
many
he's getting that
elements
X.
mimic its competitors, the green and red rocket-powered gloves bounce off walls or home in on opponents, being the most one-to-one example to the shells in Mario Kart, and the customizable car parts and wheels like we got in 8, there is still enough here to help Crossworlds stand apart from the crowd though.
That's good though. They said there's enough here for it to stand apart. So they're making the Mario Kart comparisons as you'd expect, but they're saying there's something there to make it stand out, which is good, you know. Every Sonic Racing has had some type of mission mode or story mode, so I don't expect it to be any different. Yeah, I mean, I hope it does have a single. I hope it has good single player, you know, an actual voice acting and not like the text-based TSR thing they were doing.
Plenty of the elements core to Sonic games, such as the various Wisp power-ups like Drill and Tornado, knock other racers away and defend you from incoming attacks. There were also magnets you could throw out as hazards which pull enemies towards them if they get too close, and their ultimate rubber band item to help those in lower positions catch up, the Monster Truck, which turns your car into a massive monster truck, knocks enemies away, and allows you to drive over all terrains without penalty.
So Monster Truck is basically Bullet Bill, right? We're on the same page for that one.
On the item, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is all about, well, crossing worlds, with each race separated into the traditional 3 laps. Still, each lap feels different thanks to the marquee Crossworlds mechanic. At the end of the first lap, whoever is leading the pack will determine which course the second lap will take by driving through one of 2 giant travel rings that transport everyone seamlessly once they arrive at that point.
So I got a question.
At the first lap, whoever is leading the
So it has 2 crosswalls here in the portals, and the person who's first gets to pick which one you go through. But they said there was 15 crosswalls in the game, or 15 crosswalk areas, right? So every time I play this track, which this track looks like Seaside Hill or Ocean Palace, is it gonna be the same 2 crosswalls, or are they gonna randomize it? So like the next time I play the track, they put different crosswalls in those 2 portals, and you pick different ones. That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm guessing it's different every race. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be better if it was different every race, so it's less predictable, you know? Yeah, it makes more sense if it's random. Yibby said Monster Truck is the Mega Mushroom, the Drill is the Bullets. But didn't they say that the Monster Truck can destroy things in its path, like you don't take damage? Because the Bullet Bill is like you take no damage, whereas a Mega Mushroom, you could still take damage, right? So I don't know, like...
The pack will determine which course the second lap will take by driving through one of 2 giant travel rings that transport everyone seamlessly once they arrive at that point. The options for these are randomized, and sometimes one of the options itself is a randomizer, so...
Oh, okay, it is randomized, they just said.
The options for these are randomized, and sometimes one of the options itself is a randomizer, so not even...
Oh, so sometimes you have a random option where you don't even get to pick the area, it just picks one for you. You could also only take damage from lightning, stars, and bullets in the Mega Mushroom and Wii. Okay. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Oh, I was thinking of, you're saying Mega Mushroom. I was thinking of the other one, the gold mushroom, the one that you keep. There's different. There's one where you go big. That's the Mega Mushroom. But I was thinking of the one where you can keep spamming the boost until a certain timer runs out. That's a different one. Yeah, that's the golden mushroom. Yeah, I was thinking of that, so that's why I got confused.
and the leader will know what to expect if they choose it. During my demo time, my second lap took me across stages themed with things like dinosaurs, pirates, or lava,
nice.
where we spent most of the lap in a plane, another mechanic that I'll get to later. There are also modifiers for the second stage called Frenzy that will alter the lap, such as placing moving boost gates along the entire lap, or granting a maximum boost gauge after drifting for only a split second, and making the whole lap feel like I was back in the days of the snaking that plagued and ruined Mario Kart DS. Thankfully,
Hey, Mario Kart DS is not ruined, okay? It's still goated.
Frenzy modifiers are random.
I mean, okay, snaking was a problem, but you know, it was a problem, but still.
Across my 15 or so races, the instant boost Frenzy only happened once, so I'm not worried at all about it becoming an issue in Crossworlds. After finishing the second lap, another transport ring seamlessly sends players back to the original course, but with some minor but effective changes to the course layout in key areas.
So the minor changes, is that like the Mario Kart Tour thing where the laps like shift around?
Courses like Metal Harbor evolve, where you have to drive around the outside of a rocket launch pad
like
on
the
lap
Tour
1,
thing.
but on lap 3 the rocket is launched as it did in Sonic
I
Adventure
like that.
2, replacing it with a steep half-pipe ramp that allows players to perform as...
Yeah, this trick system is looking interesting because like if I recall correctly, Team Sonic Racing, I streamed Team Sonic Racing before, didn't I? Let me see. I feel like I streamed it. Yeah, I think I streamed it like once. I just want to see the trick system quickly. If I recall correctly, the tricks were way simpler in TSR. They weren't that engaging in terms of the movement. I'm trying to find a place where there's a trick so I can like check it, but yeah, it was just like up, down, left, right kind of. It was very simple. Like, I don't think it was like the way we're seeing it here. Like, the tricks we're seeing in Crossworlds look similar to like the Riders tricks, where it feels like you're doing way more movement. I still think Riders is a bit more advanced because you had to hold the jump button to get the highest tip of the ramp, which I don't think you have to do here. I'm getting pummeled. Wow. Okay. Embarrassing. Transform did that. Okay, if Transform did it, then Transform did it. I mean, I don't remember Transform well enough to really speak on it, so I don't want to like say it didn't. I just remember TSR more because it was more recent.
Tricks as possible to gain a considerable speed boost when landing on the opposite side, and that's just...
Someone said the last game looks so soulless, and that's the thing too. When we were getting games like TSR, we would say things like they're not putting in enough effort. You gotta deal with all the angry Sonic fans who are mad at you for like wanting more from Sega and Sonic Team. Like, we know that more can be. We can see like the holes and the budget cuts in something like TSR, and then people get mad at you for pointing it out. And it's like when they finally put more effort in, and it's like, oh wow. So you got a first lap, and then you got a crosswalk on the second lap, and then you got layout changes on the third lap. Oh, we're actually doing shit now. Then people go back and go, oh, this is the effort they were talking about. This is what happens when you put in the effort. Things become bigger, more expansive, more intricate. Like, you can feel effort, you know? TSR came out during the era Sonic games had shoestring budgets. Yeah, I mean, they gave Sumo Digital a little budget and just said, look, put this thing together. We need a racing game. And they just put it together. Like, it's clear that the movies have just done so much for convincing Sega that there's money here again, because there was a period where Yakuza and like what's the other shit they were doing, Total War, other like Persona, all that shit was outselling Sonic at one point. Like, they were showing the Sega like sales figures, and Sonic was like fourth within Sega. So like, it was not a good time. It was not a good time. So like, we're up again, basically, is what I'm saying.
It's one example. In another course with water segments, I saw gates open, allowing access to shortcuts or supercharged item boxes with a higher chance of granting better items. Crossworlds is also hiding shortcuts around the map, as well as shortcut rings that activate on the final lap that would temporarily send me to another world. These secret rings are powerful shortcuts. They extended my lead in races or helped me catch up, and made it more challenging for other racers to target me with their items.
Knuckles is starting on it. Look at this dude.
Catch up, and made it more challenging for other racers to target me with their items. I don't know what forces were causing these rings to appear as I raced, but they were worth the effort of being ready to take them. Like the Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform games, portions of laps or sometimes entire laps place you in a plane or boat instead of a car. All of these vehicles have a unique identity.
That's why I'm so confused about the extreme gear thing, because like, obviously like, Transforming is about changing vehicles all the time. Whisper donated £5. I said the extreme gear will probably be like how bikes or Mario Kart Wii. Not much different between them, but it just needs more skill. Yeah, I think my question is though, like, are you gonna use the extreme gear 24/7, or is it just another thing you can change into, like the way you have the car and then you have the flying one and then the boat thing? I don't know. Like, it seems I'm confused on how the extreme gear is gonna work. Like, does it just work on every platform? Like, do you fly with it? Do you go on water with it? Do you go everywhere with it? Is it a separate thing? You know? That's what I'm curious about. But the thing is, even the cars here have a decent trick system, right? So, if the extreme gear had a similar trick system to what I'm seeing here with Knuckles, then that's not really that bad. I think what made the extreme gear so good was the combination of the trick system, timing your jumps on the ramps, and how the tricks played into the fuel system. But I don't think they're going to keep the fuel system here, which is an integral part of the extreme gear mechanics. Because the whole point of doing the tricks well was the fact that you could use that to keep your fuel going, right? But if there's no fuel to worry about, then how important is the tricks? There's the whole system of it. That's what I'm thinking.
And while they share similarities, they have mechanics to help them stand out from one another. Those portions of laps or sometimes entire laps place you in a plane or boat instead of a car. All of these vehicles have a unique identity, and while they share similarities, they have mechanics to help them stand out from one another.
JL donated $5 and said, the tricks look better than they have in a while, but the animations do still kind of look stiff right now. Kind of looks like they're having seizures. I mean, I've seen some people critique the animations. I mean, I'm not an animation expert, but I do remember Frontiers did have some iffy animations that I think they improved some of them before release. I don't know if they improved everything, but even the rail switch animation was iffy on the previews, and then they fixed it before launch. We still don't even have a release date for the game. You know, they've got the closed beta test next week, so obviously they've got enough to show. But maybe depending on the result of that will determine when this is coming out. I'm hoping they're planning like a birthday release for this, so like a June. I'm hoping it's not a November situation. I hope it's a June situation. Maybe test it in February, fix all the issues, and then ready for like Switch 2 launch. I think they want it to be a Switch 2 like launch game. I don't even know if Mario Kart 9 is a Switch 2 launch game or if it's a later. I mean, they teased it already, so it's probably a launch game. But I think they want to be there early for Switch 2 because people might buy it while they're buying Switch 2 games because there's not that much things out on the Switch 2 at that point. So they might still copy even if they still got Mario Kart. Pigo donated £2 and said, you're a good man for pausing to acknowledge donos. I mean, I acknowledge the chat as well. I mean, I don't want it to be like I'm just acknowledging donos, but I appreciate the support. But I just want to have a conversation at the end of the day, because if I'm just here to just play the video, then I mean, you could just play the video by yourself. Like, I think the whole point is to discuss and figure out like what's going on with the game, you know. They are probably using the fast trick system buff. The trick system in the trailer looks slower. Oh yeah, they said there was some kind of like upgrades and things you could use. You know, if there's any form of trick mastery upgrade, I'm definitely using that, because I don't even play Generations without trick mastery on. I always play with trick mastery. So if they got something like that here, then that's gonna be on for me. You know, that's just how it goes.
In addition to the standard drift mechanic, you get...
Someone said, if this is Unreal Engine, will this be how the Sonic Heroes remake looks like? Well, I mean, Unreal Engine, I think someone did confirm it was Unreal Engine. I don't know if it's the latest Unreal Engine, like UE5. But the thing is, it's also about the platforms, right? This is a game that has to run on Switch 1. So they're designing it with that in mind. If the Heroes remake is also going to run on Switch 1, then that will play into how it looks graphically. If the Heroes remake is announced to be Switch 2, PS5, and Series X, then it might be more graphically advanced because they're not targeting old hardware. Yo, FireSky15 with the $5 donation. Thank you so much for the support. Someone mentioned that Extreme Gear in this game would be more boost focused, so the fuel system might be reserved for the Extreme Gear specifically. I mean, you can have boost without the fuel system though, because like, like even in Mario Kart, there's no fuel system. But like when you do tricks, you get like boost, or when you power slide, you get boost. But there's no fuel system. I don't think they could do it where the Extreme Gear has a fuel system and everyone else doesn't, because that would be like imbalanced, right? Because why do they get to ride around with no fuel system and then you have a fuel system? Unless it's just targeted as like an advanced thing. I don't know, like it's advanced and only those who want to use it should use it and everyone else shouldn't. That could be it. Like in Mario Kart, you're allowed to play with those handicap modes where like it helps you turn and accelerate, but like most people wouldn't. I don't know. Zone donated $2.79 and said, seems like they ditched the Forces models. It doesn't look like the Forces models. I don't know. I haven't really paid that much attention to the models. I mean, they just look like regular Sonic models. It doesn't look like anything stylized like what Riders was. But yeah.
Get in a car, when you transformed into a boat, you have a charge mechanic that jumps it out of the water, giving another opportunity to perform air tricks for speed boosts, which can help you
air tricks for speed boosts.
Regain some speed after hitting a hazard or being tagged by an enemy's attack. While planes offer more routes than the other vehicles, they do so only if you spot the alternate paths, like a chain of boost gates underneath the road on Magma Planet where you need to...
The problem with like the flight stuff is that like, I don't know, because like a lot of the fun of racing is like tight turns and drifting. When you're doing the flight stuff, it feels like you're just going through hoops and stuff. It doesn't feel as engaging to me as the stuff on the ground.
Dodge waves of magma to maximize the plane's advantage. The variety of vehicles and paths gave me nostalgic notes of figuring out the best routes based on the vehicle I was in, like I did in Diddy Kong Racing from my Nintendo 64 days, but with all the updates to the formula you would hope for in a game released nearly 2 decades later. While I was playing, I spotted some incredible...
Seaside Hill. The green hill of the racing games. My favorite friend is back.
Inclusion spanning multiple generations that longtime fans of Sonic will be excited about. The roster of characters shown so far range...
Someone said Riders had flight. Yeah, Riders had flight. You had those little flight sections. I wasn't really someone who played as flight characters, though. I usually played as speed. You know? Like, I preferred the rail grinding that you got with the speed characters.
From the expected heroes and regular all-stars, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, to less frequently playable characters like Cream, Omega, and even Zaz from Lost World. The rider you put behind the wheel also has unique stats that will affect how they drive each car, and even rivals like Sonic and Shadow have similar yet different stats, such as one having more speed while the other having more power or boost. Vehicles fall into 4 classes: speed, acceleration, handling, and power. All of
speed, acceleration, handling, and power. Okay, so it's not a 3 system, it's 4 system now. Transformed at some tighter flight sections in some stages like Sky Sanctuary, but it was still my least favorite type. Transform had a cool risk boost mechanic where you had to dodge obstacles at the last second to get a boost. I mean, that sounds interesting. I mean, if there's ways to make it more engaging, because a lot of the time the flight stuff does feel like you're just in the air and there's not much hazardry things going on, you know, but you know, if the sections aren't that long, then it's fine, but I would rather spend more time on the ground.
Which have high stats in the matching category with the looks to max, they're having more power or boost. Vehicles fall into 4 classes: speed, acceleration, handling, and power, all of which have high stats in the matching category with the looks to match it, and I could quickly feel the change in my car as I swapped between them. When racing in my powered vehicle, which I had customized to look like a bulldozer, I felt thematically appropriate as I bullied other racers, all while stealing their rings and giving myself a speed boost thanks to some gadgets I had installed.
Oh, they got bloopers
which
as
I
well.
will also get to in a bit. Characters and types of cars have the most significant impact on your vehicle's stats, which you can then modify by changing individual car parts like the wheels and more. I picked my favorite Shadow and raced in 3 of the 4 vehicle types, all of which worked well enough to where I finished in first place for 75% of my races and top 5 in all the rest, except for one where a well-timed hit me and caused me to miss a ramp and fall off the map in the final stretch of a race. We've all been there. Along with changing out of parts for stats, you can also deck out your car with decals and change the colors and materials to your heart's content. Combining your character with car customization allows you to make your vehicle your own. The last bit of customization comes from another mechanic called the Gadget Panel. It's a powerful tool for changing how people race, granting abilities like an increased chance of getting certain items, adding a 4th level to the drift boost gauge, or granting your ring
4th level to the drift boost gauge. So you got a drift boost gauge with 3 levels. Is that like teasing at like a CTR kind of like drift boost thing, or was it more like just like the Mario Kart like drift where you get higher boost the longer you drift?
Things for performing specific actions. Every ability costs anywhere from 1 to 3 slots, and your panel to install them consists of 2 rows of 3 for a maximum.
People are still asking why Sonic is in a car. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people ask that question so much. It's just like, if you're playing a sport, you have to play the rules of the sport. Like, you know, it's like if Sonic was to play golf, it's like, why is Sonic playing golf? He could just run to the hole and put the ball in quicker than swinging the golf stick or golf stick. I don't know what the fucking thing is called, the golf club. Like, it's a game. You're playing. You're racing. Why would he be allowed to run? That's cheating. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, why would he cheat the system and just outrun everyone? Like, then no one's gonna play with him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why that would even be a question. Like, obviously he's fast, but like, you gotta play the game. Like, like, Sonic's gonna be like, yo, let's race. And everyone's gonna be like, no, we're good. You're gonna run on foot. We're not doing that. Like that's just not even fair. You know? Like, I don't see how that would even work.
Of 6 slots. I started with only 2 slots, but after a few hours of racing, I
What was she saying?
or granting you rings for performing specific actions. Every ability costs anywhere from 1 to 3 slots, and your panel to install them consists of 2 rows of 3 for a maximum of 6 slots. I started with only 2 slots, but after a few hours of racing, I increased this to 5, giving me more options to slot in new abilities that changed how I approached races. Early on, I had opted for an ability that allowed me to grab rings from a greater range, which took up a single slot, but later on I swapped to a pair of 2-slot abilities that would give me a boost when colliding with other racers while also stealing 10 rings from them to help me reach my top speed sooner and also slowing my competition. Fortunately for my competitors and unfortunately for me, they caught on to my antics thanks to the ability to see other racers' builds before a race, and shortly after implementing that strategy, nearly everyone else copied it, plunging our races into chaos like a 12-player game of bumper cars. Needless to say, this was a ton of fun as we all kept trying to ram into each other to get out in front of the pack. Even though it was just a short test drive with my favorite hedgehogs and friends, I am eager to see what else hasn't yet been revealed. The racing felt snappy and responsive, and each car customization operated as I expected. I felt like a superstar hitting enemies with well-timed items I unleashed, and the new Crossworlds mechanic was a blast, allowing me to learn courses while keeping each race feeling fresh, as I never knew what to expect on the second lap of every race. There's a lot more left to learn about Sonic's latest racer, but so far, so good. For more on Sonic Racing Crossworlds, don't miss the announcement trailer, and for everything else on Sonic games and movies, run really fast right on over to IGN.
Oh, they showed
Everything
a
else
shadow
on Sonic
beam.
games and movies, run really fast right on over to IGN.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Hold on. Oh, look at the posters. They got Jet on the poster. They got Rouge on the poster. Zone donate $2.79 said, what zones do you hope to see? I want Dragon Road. There's so many zones I want to see. Like, there's so many. I don't even know where to start, you know. But, I don't know. There's just so many great options. So many games to pick from. The fact that they picked Water Palace from Sonic Rush, though, I mean, I've been saying for years they need to start picking, like, areas from, like, the side games that they've been abandoning. Like, so that one hit close to home. Like, I really hope the music is good, too. I hope they don't fumble the music, because Transformed, I'm sorry, but that soundtrack was, it was fucking boring. So, I really hope that Transformed, I hope that this game has a really good soundtrack, because Mario Kart 8 was winning in the soundtrack department. Whew. Piranha Plant Slide, Rainbow Road, SNES, like, whew, girl, like, Mario Kart 8 soundtrack, that's one of the best Mario soundtracks, period. Like, so they gotta get in on that. T alluded to being part of the OST. Oh, if T Lopes is, we got T Lopes on there. Hopefully we get Jun Sonoe in there as well. Johnny. Although isn't Johnny like suing for money or something? Is he suing Sega? I don't know if he'll be on this. We'll see. Anyway, let me put some music on. We got more info to go through. We're not done yet. Let me pick a song. I need a song. Let's go Rush. I typed in Water Palace and not back to back. It's not gonna show up, is it? Is there an extended version? Hearing N64 Rainbow for the first time was amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'm just annoyed that they did that section thing instead of, like, you know, doing 3 laps. Like, I know Rainbow Road 64 was pretty long in the original, but the laps were, the 3 sections in Mario Kart 8 was less time than 1 lap on 64. Someone said his song donations available. I don't know how much time we got left. You know, because I don't want to like accept too many and then like the stream's gonna end. We still got some stuff to go through though, but I don't know. Someone said, I don't like secret rings, so I'm just gonna pretend the dinosaur and Pilot Loser from Sonic Rush Adventure. Yeah, but you don't have to like a game to like the course, though. I don't think that's a prerequisite. Like, they could take... What's a game I don't like? They could take a zone from CD, and if it's a great track as a racing track, then I'll say it's a great track, you know? What are the zones in CD? I'm trying to think about it without thinking too much. Where's the zone list? Well, that's a greenish level. No, we don't need that. And they could do Collision Chaos. If they made Collision Chaos into a course, that could look nice. The aesthetic of that. Tidal Tempest could look nice. Quartz Quadrant with the green could look nice. If they did Wacky Workbench with the bouncy mechanic, but they made it actually fun, that would be the ultimate, like, oh. If they took Wacky Workbench, made it into like a course, and then put the bounce mechanic in there, but it was good, that would be like one of those full circle moments. Like, that would be crazy. You know, like, I don't know, that would be insane. Stardust Speed would be a great course as well. That would definitely be a great course. You know, it's already got Speedway in the name. It's got the gold. Yeah, like, just because I don't like the game don't mean they couldn't use a course, you know. Starlight Carnival, did they use that in one of the racing games? I feel like they did, but I can't remember. I feel like they did. They used it in TSR. Metallic Madness, Good Futures, the best CD area. I mean, I don't play CD enough to remember what the best area is. But I guess if you're doing a CD level in Crossworlds, you could have the past and the future parts as like parts of the Crossworld or something. I don't know. Have I watched Captain America Brave New World yet? I'm pretty sure it's not even out yet in the UK. I think it's coming out tomorrow. And I'm probably not gonna be watching it tomorrow. I don't know if I'm even in a hurry to watch it. I've been kind of off the Marvel thing recently. I'm kind of bored. You know, it feels like since Endgame it's been on the slowing down portion, you know. I might watch it next week if it's interesting enough, or if I'm in the mood to go cinema, or if I'm not that desperate, I'll just wait till it comes to streaming. I don't know. But yeah, there's so many courses they could pick. But yeah, we got a lot of shit to go through. They got this website here, so I want to go through this quickly. You can apply for the closed beta test, but I think this is the Asian website, so only apply for that if you're from there. But there was some other stuff here. I think it was showing like the available content in the closed network courses. So I wanted to take a look at that just to see like there was some images here to go through. You got this like, I don't know what course this is, but it looks good. Almost like Grand Metropolis, Frog Forest, and Rooftop Run tracks would be so good. Didn't they do Rooftop Run in TSR? I remember liking that track. Lonely Goomer said Mario Kart Stadium. I was literally thinking Mario Kart. I'm not even gonna lie. I was thinking Mario Kart Stadium. I just didn't want to say it, but you know, I think I've seen this picture as well. I saw this one. This is the Water Palace image. That is crazy. A Rush level? That's crazy. That's crazy. You think they should do like a retro cup? Like, if they did a retro cup just to bring back old racing game tracks, that would be great. Like, just give me like, there's a few tracks on Riders I want to. If they did a retro cup, there's a few Riders tracks I need. Okay, I'm just saying like Metal City, Splash Canyon. Oh god. I need Babylon Garden. I need Babylon Garden. That shit was crazy. Digital Dimension, Sega Carnival. Yeah, like, give me Metal City. Give me Splash Canyon. Even Egg Factory was good. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I need Metal City. I definitely need Metal City. Definitely want Splash Canyon, and then Babylon Garden. Even Sand Ruins. No, the Dark one. The Dark one was crazy. Dark Desert. That shit was crazy. Like, I don't want to turn this into a Riders glazing session because we still got news to go through, but like, this shit was insane. Like, this level was insane. It opens up the area. This level was. If they brought this back, and then you go into like the inside part, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And the inside part, they went in. This whole section was just like, yeah, they went in. Yeah, they got so many tracks to pick from. Like, so many tracks. This is so low. Oh my god. Anyway, let me close some of these tabs. Where were we? Alright, you're looking at images. This reminds me of one level in Mario Kart 8. I think it was Sunshine Airport. But I think it's got ray traced reflections on it. Like, graphically, it looks pretty good. I really hope Switch isn't holding the graphics back too much. I want to see what it looks like on PC. I wonder if they capped the frame rate. I have no idea. You also thought Sunshine Airport? Yeah, like, it's not just me. I think this is from the same course as the other one. Oh yeah, someone mentioned before they got like Forces OC looking characters in the background, like on the side here, you can see that. And then you got the Chow in the audience. Yeah, I like this one. Of course, all reliable. You got Seaside Hill, and they got like the other courses like are under there. I don't know if you can access them right now, but it's like they show you the courses that are available in the closed network test. And then you got the Crossworlds. This looks like the area that was in TSR, I think. I'm trying to remember which area it was, but it looks like it was an area that was in TSR. And then you got like Casino Park. New Crossworlds would be a good way to do DLC. Well, I mean, I want new courses and new Crossworlds. Because if you just add new Crossworlds with it's the same courses, I don't know. It's interesting that the Crossworlds are a separate thing, because it's like you only use them for one lap. But yeah, they gotta have a DLC system where like every 4 months or something you get like new content, something to look forward to. In terms of like big content like tracks, and then like characters and like customization should also be a thing. Yeah, this is a good. I like this one. Why did I think that was Bowser's head for a sec? And then you got... Yeah. Someone said Iblis? Is that Iblis? I don't know. So these are the characters I think for the closed beta test, because they obviously said it was way more than this in terms of full roster. I don't know why they wouldn't put Silver on the beta test, but they put Cream. And then these are the machines you can try. They said 16 machines will be available in the closed network test. So you got speed, acceleration, handling. So we know what speed is, obviously. Acceleration means you accelerate faster. Handling means you turn really well. And power type is obviously more powerful. I think some areas are just new. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. But do they usually do new areas? I mean, Riders had new areas, I guess. Did TSR have any new areas? Or was it just all based off of the games? Let me see. Planet West, Seaside Hill, Glacial. Okay, so I guess that's new. I mean, it's an ice-themed level, but I guess it's technically new. Casino Park is obviously Casino Park from the GOAT. Sandopolis, Rooftop Run, Final Fortune. Man, Heroes was doing work in them spin-offs. It was doing work. The GOAT was carrying all these spin-offs on his back. You got Seaside Hill, you got Casino Park, you got Final Fortune. Man, the GOAT was doing work. God damn. Whoa. The ice stage is based off Kool-Aid. Yeah, I mean, they just changed the name, but it was, yeah, like... This is interesting. World matches. This is the online page. So it's kind of similar to the Mario Kart 8 page. So you got 4 levels. Because obviously online is you got to pick a course. So they put a bunch of them up. 3 levels and then a random. And then I guess everyone's supposed to pick which one they want. And then I guess it does some kind of like... it picks which one they want to give it to. Maybe it's like whichever one gets the most votes get it instead of it being random like Mario Kart 8. Yeah, so maybe if most people vote for Melt Harbor, then it's Melt Harbor. You know, I prefer when it's randomized though, because when it's like, if it's popular vote, people are always gonna pick the same fucking courses every fucking time. Like, I get that people have favorite courses, but sometimes you just want a course that's played less to show up, you know? So I hope it's more like randomized as opposed to, oh, everyone's voting for Melt Harbor, we'll do Melt Harbor. That every single time you go online, everyone picks Melt Harbor. They could bring back avatars just for this one moment, like Mii's from Mario. I mean, if they did the Forces OC for this game and you could buy like customizations and customize your character better, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't think it would be a bad idea to have it there. Me personally, I'm just gonna play as a regular Sonic character. Again, most likely Silver. Wait, did they say if the characters were tied to the types or if the vehicles were tied to the types? I'm guessing it's the characters tied to the type, but I just want to confirm because I'm wondering which type Silver's gonna be, because I want to really be a speed type, but then I also want to play as Silver, so you know, it's one of those things. You can mix and match vehicles. Yeah, but is the type locked to the character? Like, is it like, can I play a Sonic and not be a speed type, or am I like, is it you're Sonic, you're a speed? You know. Yeah, it's probably tied to the character. You know. And some people are saying both, like it weighs, you know. Well, it'll be interesting to play around. It'll be interesting to play around. I hope it has like a stat meter on all the when you pick, so you can see what everything looks like. Florian Class donated $2 and said, "Do you think Sonic might just be more popular as a brand than for video games? The shows, movies, and comics always perform well regardless of the games. Will the game audience ever grow? Shadow Generations only sold 2 mil, and that's after the movie." Well, I mean, clout is a very interesting thing, right? Because like, you can have a lot of clout and then still not sell the specific thing you're trying to sell, right? Like, you know, there's artists that are not selling tons of records right now who say they used to in their prime, who can't sell that many right now, but everyone still knows who they are. It still follows them on Instagram. When they post or they say something, it still gets attention from like the public. But if they put out an album, people won't show up. It happens all the time. Sonic in the 2010s, thanks to their social media meta-era memes and cringe, became really well known in meme culture. The Sonic shit, all that other shit. The 06 mockery for how many fucking years of Let's Players. People know who Sonic is. It's not an issue of clout in that sense. But just because they know, doesn't mean they're invested enough to buy a game, right? You might be invested enough to go and watch a movie, but are you invested enough to spend $60 on a game? Just because you showed up to watch Sonic Movie 3, which a ticket can cost $5, $10, that don't mean you're gonna spend $60 on a racing game, right? Mario is known for the games, first and foremost. Before there was movies, they had a movie before, obviously, but they're known for the games and the quality of the games. So when they put out a game, it's gonna do numbers. Sonic needs to rebuild its game reputation alongside the movie reputation, you know? And that's why I said they have to really promote their shit, you know? They have to get people reinvested in the games. But yeah, that's just how clout works. Just because you got some clout. Like, for example, like, I hate to use myself as an example, but like, I've got 174,000 subscribers on my Sonic channel. So you could walk around and be like, yo, I got 174,000 subscribers. Okay, put up a video of you playing something that isn't Sonic and see what the views are saying. And then it humbles you really quickly. It's like, okay, it's not just people watching for you. Like, we're here for this, you know? So with Sonic, it's like, people will show up for a good, funny Sonic-related meme or YouTube video where they're like using Sonic as in a meme format, or maybe even a movie. But when they say cough up $60 for this game, then they're like, you know, that's just part of like branding, you know. Apple makes smartphones. Would you buy an Apple car? Some people might buy one, others might not buy one. If they want to convince people that you should buy an Apple car, they need to do promotion to convince you why Apple are worthy of making cars. I'm old enough to remember when the iPhone was new and people didn't buy it because they thought, why is Apple making a phone? Nokia make phones. You know, Samsung make phones. Like, I'm old enough to remember when it was like, it was weird, the idea of Apple making a phone, and they had to do marketing to convince you why you should buy this phone, right? Like, the iPod Touch at first sold more than the iPhone, like the first generation, even though the iPhone was everything the Apple Touch could do, plus a phone, right? The Apple Touch had less functionality, but it was cheaper, and the iPod brand was huge. Everyone wanted an iPod. So the iPod Touch outsold the iPhone. Like, and then after like a few years, people went, hold on a minute, why am I holding an iPod Touch in one pocket and then some random other phone in another pocket when I could just get an iPhone and it does both? So then after they realized that, then the iPod Touches started selling less and the iPhone started selling more. And there was like let me see if I can find it. iPhone versus iPod Touch sales. If I could find like the chart, you'll see what I mean. Okay, yeah, iPhone versus iPod sales, right? So the iPhone comes here, iPods is like here, selling way more. And it wasn't until iPhone 4 area when it was like, hold on a minute, let's just get the phone. And then the iPod Touch died. It took them a while to realize. It took them a little bit of time to figure out the difference. You know, so I'm trying to remember what my point was. I've lost my train of thought. But it's marketing, right? It's marketing. You know? Sonic needs a big hit game to remind people that the games are fun. And I think this racing game could be it if they play their cards right. Everything you're saying is right, but one of the problems that was only available one carrier in the US. But why was it only available one carrier though? Because if they believed it was going to be a hit, it would have been available everywhere. So the reason it's only available one is because they didn't have the clout as a phone manufacturer to get the wide mainstream attention that they wanted, or in terms of the widespread, like, have it available everywhere kind of thing. And they weren't as confident with the first one. You know, I think the App Store came later, so they probably just wanted to like roll it out a bit slower, get the hardcore Apple fans on it first, and then once they improved it, then like push it harder, you know? So that's the thing. When you're entering a new business, it's a lot harder to get in, right? Let me give you another example, right? Like, if I don't know, if Dell make monitors. If Dell wanted to make a car, would you buy a Dell car? And Dell make great monitors. I got 2 Dell monitors on my table right now. But if they said they're making a car, I'm not just gonna be like, well, the monitors are great, so the car will be great. I'm like, Dell car? I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? And they might have to do a lot of work to convince you that buying a Dell car is a good idea. That's why sometimes they just don't even try. They just make a new name and then they'll own it. So Dell might make a new name for their car company, and then just like no one knows that it's linked to. Well, though, if you look, you'll know. But it's got its own name, so it's like it's a new thing. But it's just one of those things. I think this game will be the best selling in the series. You mean the best selling racing game? I mean, Transform did like what, 2 mil? Something like that. So if this outsells that, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, you know, if they support it, they keep adding content, I don't see why this wouldn't outsell every Sonic Racing game that came before. You know, because before they used to do it like one and done and barely update the game. If they support it, you know, then there's no reason why it shouldn't. They have the clout now, and it seems like they're putting in more effort. It seems like this has more content, so the only way it doesn't sell more is if it's somehow bad and we don't know. It's multiplayer, it's on everything. If it's good, it should sell more than those games. Am I gonna stream the beta? It's a luck-based draw. You put in your email address and you might get in or you might not. So I can't guarantee I'm getting in, right? Now, if other Sonic Tubers get it and I don't, you know, were they in the luck-based draw, or were they just cool with the people that run it and they got a code? I'm just saying. Maybe I'm just not cool with the right people. Either way. If I get a code, I'll stream it. If I don't, then I obviously can't. But yeah. I'm just hoping that I just hope the online is not a flop. I'm just really sincerely hoping the online is not a flop. Floating Kites, thank you for being a member for 18 months in a row. Please stream Us Creed Shadows, by the way. Super excited. When you called it Us Creed, I thought you weren't excited because you called it Us Creed. I don't even know when that's coming out. I've not been paying attention to it. It looked kind of boring to me. AC has kind of lost me recently. 20th March. Yeah, Ubisoft. We'll see. I haven't pre-ordered it or anything, but since it's coming to Steam, I might just. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, back to the Sonic. I'm looking forward to this. It says play online, compete against players from around the world, and rise through the ranks. Ranks range from E to A, and the very best players can even reach legend rank. Furthermore, each time your rank goes up, you earn new gadgets. So, again, just like any online game, for the ranking system to work, you have to build it really well. So, is it like Mario Kart's ranked where you can't rank down like heavily because it's so easy to move up? Or is it gonna be like some tough shit like Street Fighter, like if you're not playing at the highest level, then you won't rank up kind of thing? You know, I'm interested to see how tight the rankings are. They could have had S rank, but instead they just called it Legend, but either way. They're not gonna have a way you can upload mods. Mods would be fun though. I mean, I don't know how they'd implement mods for a game like this though. Honestly, the only mods I'm thinking about are like voice mods, because the meta era voice cast has somehow gotten worse, right? Like, we lost Travis Willingham, who did a decent Knuckles. We lost the silver voice from Forces, which was pretty decent. So the meta era cast right now is even worse than when it started. And now apparently people are trying to get rid of Mike. So what are we gonna have left? Just Colleen? Because the whole cast has been pretty mid since they came in, with a few exceptions. And then they got rid of Knuckles' voice, they got rid of Silver's voice. So if we lose Mike, then what? Then what? Like, this cast is just, ugh. You know. I'm just thinking about all the cool grunts we would have been getting if this was 4Kids, but a man can dream, I'm just saying. If they allowed for voice mod support in this game, like on PC, like let you, or even like mod customization, I don't think they would, but if they had some kind of mod support and you could put like 4Kids back in here, oh my god. Modding might be an issue with this if you're gonna go online and like they think you've tampered with the game and they try and penalize you and it's just a voice mod. So I don't know. They probably wouldn't. Floating kites for legs. Oh my god. Ugh. Anyway, machine customization. Customize your machine by combining a variety of tires and parts, then add stickers and change the colors, personalize your ride. So yeah, you got the customization elements. I don't know how much of this influences the stats of the cars, but we'll see. This is the gadget customization menu. Equip your machine and gadgets that best suit your playstyle. So you can see here there's like a total of 6 slots, but you only start with 3 and you can unlock more. And certain things take 1 slot, certain things take 2, certain things take 3. So it's definitely going to be fun. And you got like, you can see the A, B, C, D, E, so you can have multiple configurations, which I think is great. Because if you want, I think it's basically like generations. You got multiple configurations you can save, multiple slots, certain things take more slots. You know, it's kind of like the generation system. It's definitely going to be fun to play around with and see what style you like the best. I'm definitely going to deck my shit out with the speedy air trick because I need me some trick mastery. So speedy air trick's definitely going to be enabled for me. And based on what else is there, we'll find out what else I keep on. But speedy air trick, that's going to be on for me. Network test is from 22nd February to 24th, so literally next Saturday. Yeah, I hope I get in. Details about the game's controls can be found here. Okay, we already got this tab open, I think, so we'll check that out in a sec. Is there anything important here? Only online play for the tests, nothing on offline. You can upload videos on live stream. Okay, that's good. So if I don't get in, there'll be at least footage to react to. So if I don't get into the test, then we'll probably just do a stream reacting to people's footage. If anyone records any good footage of it, ideally some 4K footage, and uploads it, and, you know, then I can react and then, you know, see what they say. We'll see what the footage is saying. But yeah, you got a few more pages to go through. If the page is actually working. How can Sega deal with Mario Kart 9 releasing this year and make Crossworlds $40 on the standard? I mean, I don't think they should worry too much about Mario Kart 9. You know, Mario Kart 9 is still a Switch 2 exclusive. So, like, you have a whole Switch 1 user base to tap into who won't have Mario Kart 9. You know, 150 million people bought the Switch 1. So, Mario Kart 9 is going to be bigger than Sonic Racing. That's just a guaranteed thing. But you can't worry about it. You know, you can't worry about the fact that Mario is bigger than Sonic. What you have to worry about is making something that's great. Something that's quality. As long as you do that, then you'll be good. Right? If you do 10 mil units on this game, then that's great. It's not Mario Kart numbers, but it's still great. But just, you have to push yourself. Like, you have to use yourself as the barometer, not so much the other franchises. I mean, if they're doing good things within the games, then you should take inspiration from that. But in terms of the size of and clout of Mario, you can't worry too much about that. I need another song to play. I'm blanking out on songs today. I've been so used to the song request that now I can't even think of songs. Let me do Unleashed. Exactly. Sonic's only competition should be how Sonic is doing compared to previous games. Like, you can't worry about doing Mario numbers. Mario's numbers come from a result of the consistency that Mario has had for so long. That's why they surpassed Sonic. It's from consistency. Sonic would need a lot of consistency to get to those high numbers again. You know? Alright, so this is the US website. So before you're looking at the Asia website, this is now the US website. So you can see there's a digital deluxe and a standard edition. You can see the platforms. Doesn't show Switch here for some reason. I think that's because Switch doesn't let you wishlist things. Okay. So you got the media here, which is, I think that's the gameplay trailer. And that's the cinematic teaser, which no one cares about that. So yeah, standard edition is base game. Digital Deluxe includes a DLC season pass, which this is interesting because it confirms that they are going to support the game. Not only did it say DLC, but it said season pass. So there's gonna be another season, right? Like, there's gonna be continuous content. Maybe it's like each year there's like a round of DLC, and each year they charge you for it. You know, you pay for the pass, and then the next year there's going to be a whole new round of content, something like that. And you get early access to the game. I don't know how early the access is. Maybe 3 days. And then Sonic Prime playable characters. You know? That's interesting. I wonder if the Sonic Prime playable characters are literally exclusive to the Digital Deluxe, or whether it'll come to the base game at some point. You know? If Mario Kart 9 is November, release this in September. If it's in the summer, save it till no. Again, I think worrying about Mario Kart 9 is pointless. It's a Switch 2 exclusive. Like let me do some math for you guys, because you guys are too worried about Mario Kart 9. We know Mario Kart 9 is gonna be goated, but like, Nintendo Switch 1 first year sales. Switch did 15 million units in the first year on the market. Now, Switch 2 might do more because of the hype of Switch 1. Remember, Switch 1 came after the Wii U, so people were slower to get it. If we say Switch 2 moves 20 million in the first year, let's say Switch 2 comes out July. That's a year to move 20 million units. Switch 1 already has 150 million sold. It's gonna take a year. Mario Kart 9 is not going to sell, I mean, it's gonna sell, but it's not going to sell like 50 million the first year or anything like that. It's gonna be like every week people buy it consistently for years, right? The whole first year is gonna be slow movements for Switch 2. So again, tons of people on Switch 1 are gonna have access to Racing Crossworlds and not gonna have access to Mario Kart 9. So the whole worrying about Mario Kart 9 thing is pointless. Because what's gonna happen is Switch 2 is backwards compatible anyway. So if Switch 2 is backwards compatible and Racing Crossworlds is on Switch 1, people are gonna buy Racing Crossworlds because they haven't got a Switch 2 yet, and they're gonna just play it on Switch 1 and know that when they get a Switch 2, they've already bought it, they already got it. By the time they get the Switch 2 and they buy Mario Kart 9, they already got Racing Crossworlds. And if they're still supporting Racing Crossworlds with new content, they'll be playing and they'll be going back to it to try the new content out. So they'll be fine either way. Again, if you make a great game and you promote it and you have the clout of the movies, you can have success with this game. Just don't worry too much about what Mario Kart is doing in terms of like numbers, because you're not going to do Mario Kart numbers. But you could still break your own records within our own franchise, right? And I think that's what's the most important thing. Have I watched Entourage? I have not watched Entourage. You just finished How I Met Your Mother? Oh, I apologize. I mean, as great as that show is, I mean, that finale. So, you just don't want its initial release to be overshadowed. But here's the thing, right? And I keep saying this to people. TSR was not overshadowed by Crash Team Racing for no reason. It was overshadowed because of the quality of the games. Sonic is bigger than Crash. The only reason TSR was overshadowed is because it wasn't that good. That's it. And I think people keep forgetting that. Like, focus on the quality of the product, right? If Crash Team Racing was mid and TSR was like the greatest, one of the greatest kart races ever, it would have been fine releasing 1 week before Crash Team Racing. It's the fact that it was a forgettable game and Crash Team Racing was highly anticipated for the quality of the game. It, like, make a great game and so many of your problems will be solved, right? Great games, people talk. Gamers talk. When a game is great, people can't shut their fucking mouths about when a game is great. They will glaze, okay? If you make a great racing game, people will buy it. It's just one of those things. So, Mario Kart 9 is going to be great because we trust Nintendo to make great games. So we believe it's going to be great even without seeing really much footage of it. Which is why people are going to buy it just off of the rip. But if it's not actually great, then the sales would die down. You know? So it's just one of those things. Because remember, Switch 2 is backwards compatible. So if Mario Kart 9 was somehow mid, you could just play 8 Deluxe on the same system. So you have to remember, like, they need to make Mario Kart 9 noticeably better to get people to buy it. Otherwise, he would just be like, we got 8 Deluxe, you know? So yeah, I don't think there's any reality where Mario Kart 9 ruins Crossworlds in any way. You know, no matter how good Mario Kart 9 is, if you make this game really good, you could still sell. But outside of Mario, it's not about one game versus another game. It's about the reputation the franchise has built from years upon years of quality releases. Like, let's keep it a buck, right? Like, if there was no, like, Dark Age or Sonic, if there was no point of, like, mediocre release, if Sega had put out quality releases, nothing below an 8 out of 10, since, like, Heroes, you know, since that whole period, since, like, Shadow 06 period, if they had been putting out 8 to 9s out of 10s, or 8 to 10 out of 10 games since 25 years ago, we'd be selling way more units right now. It's as simple as that. You lost people every single time you made something mediocre. That's how it works. It's a reputation that's built over time. You know? That's why the Switch 1, people, like, scalpers did not grab the Switch 1 as much because they didn't know it was going to be big, because the Wii U was so mid that they expected the Switch 1 to not be as big of a deal. It's like your last thing influences your next thing. Like a lot of artists will put out their best album ever, and then it's like the album after their best album actually gets quicker sales because of the anticipation that came from the previous album. But that album might not even be as good, but it's because everyone expected something great because the last thing was great that they showed up. That's just how it works. Let me actually check something. Let me see. Nintendo Wii first year sales. I'm actually curious. The Wii sold, what, 7 million? That's in the US. First year sales. N64 5 mil, GameCube 4 mil, Wii 13.8, Wii U 3.6. Yeah, I mean, hopefully this game we don't want to break numbers as long as they're playing their cards right. Stressing about Mario Kart. Yeah, like, I just don't feel like there's a point. Nintendo could get away with Mario Kart 8 with the DLC built in and still sold very well, so kudos for doing the 9th. Unrelated. The funny thing is, when I saw the graphics for Mario Kart 9, I really thought it was kind of just like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but we've added some new stuff. Because it didn't look like there was a graphical jump. I wasn't expecting a crazy jump, but it's at least something that looked like it was a Switch 2 game. I don't know. What if it is still 8 Deluxe and we're just all calling it 9? What if it's just Mario Kart 8 Ultimate and we're just calling it 9 because we think it's 9? Did they say it was 9? Did they confirm it was 9? Or are we just like, I don't know. I was just expecting a bit more graphical jump. But changing the DK design doesn't guarantee it's a new game though. Because when the Switch was revealed, they showed Mario Kart 8 Deluxe footage before we knew what 8 Deluxe was. And people thought that was Mario Kart 9 because they added the 2 power-up system back, which wasn't in Mario Kart 8 base from the Wii U. And people were saying that was 9, and then it turned out to be 8 Deluxe. So is it out of the realm of possibility that it's Mario Kart 8 Ultimate and they just added some new tracks and some new designs for Donkey Kong and shit like that? Like I don't want to be like, you know, conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but it's like, I didn't see a Mario Kart 9 logo. Some people think they're going to call it Mario Kart 10 anyway, but I didn't see a confirmation, you know. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, where were we? No, we're on this page. Oh yeah, we'll talk about the Sonic Prime playable characters, yeah. I do hope that they, like, if they're doing Sonic Prime, I'm guessing they'll probably save movie skins for 2027. You know, in line with movie 4, you know. So 2025, maybe you get the Prime skins or the Prime characters. 2026, maybe some other characters, I don't know. And then 2027, when the movie's coming out, then you get like the movie skins, something like that. They say Prime characters, but do they really mean skins? Are they going to add their voice actors in too? Well, I think it's because the voices were different, so it wouldn't really be a skin. If you, well, I mean, like, when you look at Mario Kart 8, if you look at the character screen, variations are listed as separate characters, right? So, like, Mario is here, and then Baby Mario is down there as a separate thing, and then Tanuki Mario is a separate thing, and then you got like the pink gold Peach and the baby Peach. They're separate things on the roster, so I would assume that Prime Sonic would be listed separately, you know, which would be, that would be very interesting though, because that means they could do like a SA1 Sonic and bring the low poly model out and then have Ryan voice it or something like that, and then bring in like a 06 Sonic as a separate option. and then have Jason voice it, and like, oh, if they did that, that would be crazy. Like, you'd actually be able to race as like a Ryan Sonic, a Jason Sonic, a Roger Sonic, and Devin Max Sonic, and then when they add Movie Sonic, Ben Schwartz Sonic, all in one game, like officially, that would be crazy. The closest we got to that is when they put Dean Bristow voice clips in Riders, but they kind of just used Dean and Mike clips on the same Eggman. I don't know why they did that, but you know. Someone said, is the Heroes remake coming this year? Is dead? Also, Frontiers 2 So the original leak said Heroes remake was this year, but it could get pushed back into next year. And then they said Frontiers 2 was next year. So I don't know. You know, Gamer Guy said, one of his insiders said Heroes remake was gonna get pushed to next year. But again, there's all leaks. We don't really know for sure. I feel like if this game comes out in the summer, then you could still have a game in November, period. It's not impossible. I mean, in the 2000s, you were getting so many fucking games in the same... They dropped Sonic Rush and Shadow the Hedgehog on the same day. Like, they don't give a fuck. You know, so... And also, if Heroes Remake is not a Switch 1 game, let's say it's Switch 2 and up, then it makes sense that you have both these games around a similar period, because if, say, Racing Crossworlds comes to Switch 1, PS4, Xbox One, but then Heroes Remake only comes to PS5 and Series X and Switch 2, then those who are still holding back on previous gen still have something to play, Sonic related, right? And those who are next gen, I say next gen, PS5 is like 5 years old now, those on next gen have something they can play. Those on Switch 2 have something they can play as well, you know? So they could still do both in 1 year. But again, like, they're leaks. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. The way I see it is this. If we don't hear about the Heroes remake at that April Direct for the Switch 2, then it's not happening this year. That's the way I see it. If we don't hear about it by that point, that's the last day for me to be like, because I mean, maybe they gave it to Nintendo to announce for the Switch 2, like it's a launch title for Switch 2, or it's coming to Switch 2 in the first year or something like that. Maybe they saved it for them. So for me, if I hear it in that April Direct, then it's happening. You know, if I don't hear it by then it doesn't seem like it's coming out this year. It's not impossible for them to announce it at like June E3 period and then release it in November. That's not impossible. But if I didn't hear it by April and there was no like leaks that highlighted that it was still happening, like no new info, then I'd have to write it off for this year. You know. Heroes Remake is probably a Game Awards thing. Everyone is going to be tuning into that Nintendo Direct, okay? It's the first Direct for Switch 2 game reveals. Like, you want to be there. I mean, Heroes did sell a lot on PS2 though, so to be fair, like, there is a PlayStation audience who did grow up on Heroes. I think the highest selling version was PS2. But I think that Switch Direct is going to be crazy. So I think that would be a good place to reveal it. And just because you reveal it, it doesn't mean you can't show at other events. Because you reveal it, if say you reveal it in April, you have the whole E3 period to have gameplay in all these different events, right? Like if Sony has a state of play in June, you could have some exclusive footage for them in June. If Microsoft has an Xbox event in that June-July period, they could have exclusive gameplay as well. But you just give it to Nintendo first, you know? So I feel like April would be a good time to announce it, you know. And it won't step on this racing game because this is a racing game. Heroes is a remake of an old game. Both can exist, you know, and Sonic fans will buy 2 Sonic games in a year. Like, we know that. But yeah, if it shows up at the Switch 2 Direct, like, whew, like, oof. I really hope it's not coming to Switch 1 though. I hope it's Switch 2 and up. I seriously hope it's like... Now that we know the Unreal Engine thing was true, which I think Midori revealed it first. I think maybe Zippo revealed it first. I don't know. Both Zippo and Midori said they were switching to Unreal Engine. Now that we know it's like happening, we know that there's some credibility to what they were saying. So them wanting to, you know, use heroes in the Unreal Engine, like I really hope that they do it justice. But yeah, we got a few things to read on this page. There's a bunch of info here that we got to get through. And then we got the manual, which is also really important because it gives you like the mechanics of the game. And then after that, we should be done. Zippo gave us a whole selection and said one of them is true to keep us guessing. Midori specified. Well, Zippo knew it was heroes as well, though. He said it in that post, if I recall correctly. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, they scared Zippo away, though. He hasn't come back since. Yeah, March 25. So almost a year ago, he said it was going on Unreal Engine. Yeah, he teased it in the post. He put the HEROES. So even in that post, he was teasing heroes. I don't know why he was doing that whole ooga booga, like, which one is it? Because, like, you know, there was no point to that. But yeah. Yeah, Zippo said 2026 to 2027. It was Midori that was saying 2025 to 2026. So it is possible they push it back. You know, it might not be a this year thing. Because I remember when Zippo said that date, I was expecting it to be late. And then Midori came back later on and said it was 2025 and that Frontiers 2, or the sequel to Frontiers, was 2026. So I don't know how they got it done so much quicker. Now, granted, Heroes was made in like 2 years, the original. So how much extra time are you gonna need for this version? I don't know. For me, like, I feel like it has to be like, we have to find out about it this year. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but I feel like by the end of this year we should know about it. Because if it's coming out next year, then they probably still announce it this year. You know? It's not impossible that we get it next year and they announce it next year, because Sonic X Shadow Generations was announced in like January last year and then came out November. So they could do it that way. But they could do like a Game Awards thing where they reveal it at the Game Awards in December and then it comes out next year November. You know? Anything's possible, really. Is that Heroes Remake video making still happening? Yeah, I need to put that together. I've just been busy. That's why I haven't done it. I'm afraid if I wait too long and then they announce the game, then it's too late to make the video. Because the video is a bit of a wish list and they're not going to follow that video at all. So if I make the video after the game's announced, it just feels like I'm making a big wish list of things that'll never happen. Someone said 2 years and it's considered rushed, so probably need 4 years for remake. You don't need 4 years to remake the GOAT, okay? 2 to 3. Like, and that, remember in that 2 years of making the original, you actually have to design the whole game. You know, with the remake, the design is done. You're just remaking it. Now, obviously, it still requires time. I'm not saying they shouldn't take their time. I'm just saying, like, you shouldn't need 4 years for remaking Heroes. It's 14 stages and 7 bosses. It's not that much, like, it's not that crazy, you know? Plus, like, the racing games gave you, like, half the assets anyways. I'm playing, like, that. They'll make new assets, but, like, they don't remake, like, half that game in the racing games already. Heroes was carrying them racing games. Remakes take more time than you think. Remaking MGS3 Delta took 2. Well, I mean, you just said 2 years though. Like, someone else was saying 4. Like, I don't think you need 4 years to remake Heroes. 14 stages, 7 bosses. You don't need 4 years. Okay? All the levels are mapped out. each team goes through the same environments with slight tweaks. You know, unless they're really adding a ton of new content, I don't think you need 4 years. 2 to 3 max. You know. But if they are adding a bunch of new content, then that could explain why. Or if maybe they're not putting the whole weight of Sonic Team on it. Like if Sonic Team is split working on like Crossworlds and Frontiers 2 and all these other things, and then when they got a small amount of people working on the remake, and then maybe they add more people towards the release date or closer to the release or something like that. I don't know. Do I think Frontiers 2 could sell 5 million? Well, isn't Frontiers 1 already on pace to doing 5 million as well? If Frontiers 1 could do more than, like, Frontiers 1 did at least 3, so Frontiers 2 could do 5 if it's better. I don't see why it couldn't. Good Gift JC donated $2 and said Need for Speed 4 high stakes Callista song. I mean, we're not really doing song quest right now, but I can do one song. But if I do the song, then people start thinking it's a song quest, and then, you know, I can't make any promises. But we can do one song. But we're getting closer to the end of the stream. We have a few things to go through. We have to go through this page and then this manual, and then we'll be done. So I don't want to like build up a ton of song requests that I can't finish. Let me see. What did I click? What the hell did I click? I'm just not trying to get copyrighted, that's the thing. Sonic games usually sell what they do in a year and then crawl after. Yeah, I mean, with single player games, it's definitely harder. I think with the racing game, if you're adding content and it's got fun online, I think it could definitely sell more over time. But yeah, 5 million for Frontiers 2. Again, if the franchise is doing well from a clout perspective, movie 4 is popping off. You know, if Frontiers 2 is a better game than Frontiers 1, which, let's face it, that won't be hard to do, as long as they don't support Switch 1, focus on Switch 2 and above, and just iron out a lot of the cut corners that were in Frontiers 1. You know? Someone said they expected movie 3 to perform better. I mean, what were you expecting though? It's not gonna hit a billy. Like, it did better than the first 2 movies. I mean, I don't know, like, let me see the box office. Yeah, like, what were you expecting? It's second. Like, what better is there? I mean, there's a lot of better, because the difference between 472 mil and 1.36 bill. I mean, you could double this number and it'll still not be Mario. So, I guess that would be better. But I mean, it sold more than movie 2. It sold more than movie 1. It sold more than Detective Pikachu. I don't think they would have done much better. I mean, $500 million at least would be nice though, to get $500 million. I mean, it can still cross 500 million though. Once it goes digital and people buy it digitally, it can still trickle its way up. You know, but yeah, Mario clout is no joke. Someone said it's Switch 2 PS4 quality or PS5. I don't think the Switch 2 is as powerful as the PS5. The Switch 2 is probably like slightly weaker than a Series S. Most likely. You know, so if the game runs on Series S, then you probably have to do a few little tricks to get it to run on Switch 2. But I mean, let's face it, if you were actually spending time trying to support a Series S when Xbox is barely selling, then you definitely make time to support Switch 2. Anyway, I want to go through these descriptions quickly before we move on to the instruction manual. Race across land, sea, air, space, and time. Walk through travel rings. Speed to victory solo or as a team. So they still have the team mechanic then. They're saying solo or as a team. In a variety of offline and online modes. Yeah, a variety of offline and online modes. So it's definitely going to be some great content there aside from just racing. They got multiple modes instead of variety. And compete against players from around the world. They're highlighting the focus on online this time. Build the ultimate machine to match your racing style. Unlock gadgets to gain the upper hand. And unleash power-up items for the win. Alright, that's interesting. Flying Kite Stone $1 said, I study box office for fun and a movie opening to 60 million after being expected to open to 80 and not crossing 500 million during the Christmas season is rare. Mufasa is outsold by hundreds of millions and that's with a slow start. But Mufasa is a Lion King spin-off, right? Like, of course Mufasa was gonna do numbers with the Disney push, right? Like, it's a Disney movie with a spin-off to the Lion King. I just don't see how it wouldn't have darn crazy numbers. I don't know why Sonic fans attached themselves to Mufasa trying to get a W in the first place. But you know, cool edge is not the word I'm looking for. There's another word I'm looking for. I can't seem to think of it. Holoska. My brain is slowing down. My brain is slowing down. Ugh. Ugh. What was that? Okay, the feature list. This is what we're looking for. Warp through travel rings to new Crossworlds, introducing a unique gameplay mechanic, transporting the iconic characters from the Sonic and Sega universes into dimensions. Land, sea, air, superpowered vehicles. Use unpredictability to your advantage as you use travel rings to change the landscape of each race. Featuring the largest roster of any Sonic racing game, with 23 races at launch and a ton more on the way. I love that they say a ton more on the way. I just love that they specify. They know that people have been upset with the lack of content and support for their previous shit. So when they say these things, it's like this, letting you know that, okay, we're actually gonna support this thing. We're not gonna just toss it to the side. 23 at launch and a ton more on the way. This roster could be stacked in like 3-4 years. It could be like 40 races by the time we're done with this game, right? And Sonic has got tons of characters. You know, what did IGN say? They're stupid little friends or whatever the fuck. There's gonna be so many fucking stupid friends in this game, right? Like, it's gonna be crazy amount of characters they could pull from if they really like go into the lore of Sonic. And obviously they're gonna pick the obvious ones first, but like, there's some deep cuts they could pick that would be really nice, you know? Like, Infinite's not really a deep cut, but I do want to see Infinite. But like, if you were to go into like some other games, like, could you have like Emerald in there? Like, you know, could you have Grounder and Scratch from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh, I would love Grounder and Scratch to be in this game. That's such a random pick. It's one of those ones where it's like, they probably wouldn't do it, but like, it's just one of those ones where like, if they did do it, it's like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. Elise and the Duke. Elise? If they brought back Elise for this game, that would be crazy. That would actually be crazy. You know, that's the thing about racing games. You could just go crazy with the shit. Like, Chip, you could bring back Chip. Why not? Like, it's a racing game. Why can't Chip be in a kart? Why not? You know. Someone says Sonic Man. Even Sonic Man could. Why not Sonic Man? Like, it's a racing game. You see, like, when it's a main series title, people get all up in arms about the lore and all that bullshit. Why not even classic Sonic? As cringe as he is, like, Why not? It's a racing game. Put his cringe ass in there. If I see someone racing as fast as Sonic, I'm gonna run them off the course, but like, you should still be there, right? Why not? You know? But that's the beauty of a racing game. You can do so much shit. Like, someone said Mighty and Ray, like Mighty and Ray as well. Like, there's so many picks. More tracks than ever before. Race across 24 main tracks and use travel rings to transport to 15 crossworlds. Dominate your opponent with 23 different power-up items, including returning favorites and all new items like the monster truck. Choose from the 45 unique original vehicles, including extreme gear boards. Mix and match character vehicles to find the perfect combo. Yeah, 24 main tracks and 15 crossworlds. If that's 24 tracks, original environments in terms of not multiple acts in the same environment, and 15 crossworlds as well, that's a lot of content. That's a lot of content. Someone said Tikal. Yeah, Tikal. Yeah, give us Tikal as well. Like, there's just so much potential for like support over the years. You know, so much potential. Enjoy 3 main modes played with 1 to 4 players locally or up to 12 players online: Grand Prix, Race Park, and Time Attack. We know what Time Attack is. We know what Grand Prix is. Is Race Park just like a regular versus mode where you just select a course and play it? Or is there some other element to that I'm missing? Gather friends or compete against a community of players from around the world of online crossplay. Thank you. Some people were saying there wouldn't be crossplay. There's crossplay. Okay. Increase the fun with even more great features like challenges and frenzy mode. Like, they're saying all the right things. They're saying all the right things, you know? Someone said 12 players seems so low now that we know that Mario Kart 9 has 24. I mean, look. At the end of the day, there could be 100 players. It don't make a difference. If you're good, you're gonna be first. Okay? I don't give a fuck who's behind me. I'll be in front. I'll be picking the poles. The fuck? I'm busy picking the poles. I don't care who's behind me. Like, but, you know. I think 12 players is fine, to be honest. Especially since we don't even know what the online is gonna be like. Nintendo's only doing 24 because they know 24 people will be online to play. They won't have that embarrassing moment of, you know, only 6 people showing up to a race, you know. But I think 12 is fine. But can we like have like rooms and shit? Like if I wanted to do like a room like where I get like, say, my subscribers to be in a room so we could do online. I could go live and just like race with my viewers or something like that. That's what I'm thinking, like, because I know some games are hesitant to do that because you need enough people playing. It might be easy to just force everyone to play the same servers so that there's always people playing. You know, you start adding rooms and shit, then now people aren't going online with everyone else. They're in their little rooms and all that. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. It says gather friends, so it probably does mean you could. Yeah, it should be rooms allowed. I'm guessing if you do it with friends, you can't participate in the rankings. I want to learn more about this ranked mode and if it's really like intense or if it's, you know, chill. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And then it says make it yours. Utilize a deep customization system to trick out your ride with a unique look and feel. Customize your vehicles to create the ultimate machine to match your racer style. Swap out parts and equip over 70 different gadgets to increase vehicle and power performance. Yeah, race across 24 main tracks. So we got E Stadium. I don't know what the E stands for, but it's E Stadium. Rainbow Garden. So we've seen a screenshot before. This is Rainbow Garden. Water Palace. I'm so glad they bought Water Palace. That's crazy. I hope the music is fire for this as well. I really hope. Metal Harbor, SA2. Ocean View. obviously the GOAT. Wonder Museum. This is an interesting one. What if this is the museum from Unleashed? Wasn't there like a museum in like, what's the name of that area? My brain is, oh my, what is the name of that? What's the name of the area that has Rooftop Run? The fuck is the name of that area? Spagonia, yeah. Wasn't there a museum in Spagonia? What if this is the museum from Spagonia? What if you're like driving and then you see like Professor Pickle like eating a cucumber sandwich or some shit like that? Like, wouldn't that be crazy? Speaking of which, we need an Eggman Land course. We need an Eggman Land course. I just thought about that. Like, there needs to be a like Eggman Land needs to be like the Bowser's Castle of Sonic Racing games. You know? Like, we need like a new Eggman Land every game. And it's like designed to be like the hardest course in every racing game, where they just go crazy with the hazards and shit. That needs to be our Bowser's Castle. We need an Eggman Land, you know? Cause like, it's just the perfect level for a racing game. Like, it's the aesthetics, the music, the challenge of it. Like, we need an Eggman Land. That needs to be a thing. And it needs to be like specifically known for being difficult. Like, you know, when you see Eggman Land, it's gonna be some bullshit. Like, that's what it needs to be. You know, I think it'll be a missed opportunity if they don't make an Eggman Land course, because that shit will be insane. You know, so. But yeah, the reflections are really good on this. You can tell, like, graphically, like, let me see something actually. Let me see. Nintendo Switch can run games made on Unreal Engine 5. So Unreal Engine 5 supports Switch 1. So Switch 1 is gonna run this on Unreal Engine 5. I guess that means all they have to do, if the engine is really scalable, then the Switch 1 won't hold back the graphics that much. Because if it's running on Unreal Engine 5, you just have to turn off certain graphical settings for the Switch 1 version. What is wrong with this website? Oh my god, Sega! In the middle of reading the page, it just disappeared. Ugh. They need to sort out that online. Someone said Eggman Land is the Rainbow Road of the game. Well, it's not really Rainbow Road, because Rainbow Roads were not known for being crazy hard. They were more like the aesthetic and vibe of it. They need to sort out their fucking site. I was reading! Alright. Let's finish this page before it disappears again. Oh yeah, we got the Crossworlds to look at. Okay, yeah. So, Roulette Road. So that's the casino part, basically. I think this was in All Stars Racing, wasn't it? And Dinosaur Jungle, Kraken Bay, Lava Cave, Sky Road, which I think was in TSR. So I wonder with the Crossworlds, are they only designed to be one lap? Like, every time you go into the Sky Road Crossworld, is it going to be the same? Or are they going to have, like, multiple variations of it? Like, 3 different track designs for the Sky Road, so that when you go into it, it's not predictable. That's what I'm wondering right now. Shadow the Hedgehog has 4 levels based on setting the arc that could fit well in Crossworlds. Let me see Shadow the Hedgehog levels. Where's that one level that has the crazy... I know which level I'm talking about. Digital circuit. Yeah, this. This shit. This shit should be a level. I mean, this shit should be a track. The colorful, like, yeah. This should be a track. This will be a great course. Oh my god. Yeah, this would be a great, oh my, yeah. Yeah, this should be a great, that would be a great course. There's so much to pick from. So much to pick from. Someone said it's in Sky Road, Lost World. Sky Road was in Riders before it was in Lost World. You know, I don't think they memorized all the names that they've used, because they reusing names. But yeah, like, I can't wait for the PS5 footage. Anyone who's got a PS5 Pro specifically, I want to see if it looks different on PS5 Pro. Like, if they're gonna push like some benefits on PS5 Pro. And I want to know if like the PC version is gonna be frame rate capped or not. Like, knowing Sega, they'll probably cap the PC version at 60 or something. You know, I'm wondering that. At least now they got the excuse of, oh, it's online, but you know. Ugh. Alright, we got one more thing to go through. One more thing to go through. What was that? Hold on. Events. Oh, these are the different events they had in the game. I forgot about all of these. If TSR had this many events, then there's definitely going to be a lot of events in the new game then, for sure. But yeah, we've got the closed network test manual, which kind of explains how the game runs. So it just like explains certain mechanics that's worth looking into. There's a few things we want to go through here. You got the standard controls. Steering is left stick, accelerate X button, item is L1, L2, drift is R1, R2, rear view is square. Brake reverse is circle, gadget is triangle, obviously pause, D-pad, directional inputs left stick. Oh, that's in flight control. Item, drift, rear view, brake, gadget button. On water, left stick, directional inputs, accelerate, X, L1, L2, charge jump, R1, R2. So pretty standard shit here, like what you'd expect. Yeah, pretty much what you'd expect for that. Do you think Tom from the Sonic movie should be in this? Would they have to pay James Marsden to put his likeness in the game? I mean, I just don't see them doing that, but you know. Wait, so this says standard controls, and then the next page says Team Sonic Racing controls. During character selection, you can switch to Team Sonic Racing controls by a config. So if you like TSR on the way that moves, then you can play it like it's TSR. That's a very interesting thing that you wouldn't think they would support, given that barely anyone played TSR. But alright then, you can play it like TSR. Alright, tutorial. Buttons displayed off a standard mode. So we've got images in here as well that we can take a look at. Well, we can try and take a look at. It doesn't want to open. Does not want to open. SF, yeah. At the end of the first lap, the racer in the first place chooses to go into one of the two travel rings. Second lap takes place in the selected crossworld. Different crossworlds will appear for every race. Drift is R1, R2. Release it to get a speed boost based on how long the drift gauge was charged. So that's like TSR had that as well though, like the drift boost, right? I'm trying to remember. You could drift boost in that. I feel like you could. It's been a while, but I feel like you could. Angel Island should be a track. I mean, Angel Island would be a good track. But I mean, if we're picking Sonic 3 levels, then Flying Battery should be a track. Hydrocity should be a track. Like, Sonic 3's got a lot of good looking levels. You know? Oh yeah, also, is that Radical Highway? In the fucking... in the air trick section? Asking for stuff that got MJ music. Listen, it's time for Sega to step up and just pay the money, okay? Pay the fucking money. We're tired of this shit. Like, listen, like, just pay it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just pay the money. We don't want a weird remix. Just pay the fucking money. Pay the estate and just get the song back. Tilt the left stick in the air to perform an air trick. Gain a speed boost upon landing based on the number of tricks performed. Yeah, Radical Highway, I can see why they've added that, because it was in Shadow Gens, and the assets would transfer over pretty easily. So I can see why Radical Highway would get picked, which is why I also expect Chaos Island to somehow make it into this game as well. Flight controls while flying, tilt the left stick down. I'm trying to think what course this is, I'm not sure. And then you got water controls. While on water, hold R1, R2 to charge the gauge and release it to jump. The jumping distance will increase depending on how long the gauge was charged. That sounds interesting. Maximum speed will increase based on how many rings were collected. Speed also increases based on ring collection timing. So the faster you collect the rings, the more speed you get. So it shows in the HUD like how much speed you got based off the rings. And then item box, so that's the green shell item. So yeah, you got the Whisk, you got the Yakka for boost, 3 Yakkas for triple boost, so just like the mushrooms. Laser transforms into a laser, move at high speed toward the machines ahead. So when it says move at high speed, it's not a boost though. Is it just like a laser, like you get shot up, or is it just like, what makes it different from the boost? Drill transform to a drill, move automatically towards finish line. So like automatically, like Bullet Bill-ish, basically. Warp ring, warp to the machine ahead and crush it. Monster truck, transform into a monster truck, crush the machines in your path. Kingdom Valley. Kingdom Valley would be a great track, actually. Omo Chow creates a path of rings, pick them up to accelerate. Bonus ring, get extra rings. So this is the red and green shell. So they're calling it the homing punch. Lock on and attack the machine ahead. And then triple homing punch, you get 3 red shells, or 3 homing punches. And then the rocket punch is obviously like bounce off of walls but it doesn't lock on. Slicer, split the machine ahead in half. The target will drop an item. Like, just split the thing in half? Oof. Someone said Sonic X got removed from Netflix. I mean, these licensing deals only last a certain amount of time, so I'm not surprised. But who knows? Maybe they'll remaster Sonic X and put it on something else. I don't know. They might be due for a remaster of the show. You got a bomb wisp. Throw a bomb that increases its size the longer it's held. The larger the bomb, the bigger the explosion. King Boom Boo, that's interesting. Summon King Boom Boo, he will attack the machine in first place. So like the ghost thing was, it's a first. Is this like the blue shell then? It said it will attack the machine in first place. So King Boom Boo is not actually the ghost power up in Mario Kart, it's more like a blue shell. And then you got Slime. Block the vision of the other machines and reduce their speed, cause them to drop all of their items. So basically it's like the blooper, but then they also lose speed and then they drop their items. So it's a mix of blooper plus some other shit. Or a mix of Blooper and Lightning. Yeah. Because Lightning makes you lose speed and drop your items. And then Blooper covers your screen. Blocks your vision. So it's like literally Lightning and Blooper in one. So Slime is going to be an interesting one. You got weight. You drop a weight on the machines in first and second and crush them, causing them to drop all their items. So another attack for first, but also second place as well. Which is interesting because like in Mario Kart, like if you see someone get a blue shell and you're first, at least if you're playing against CPUs, you can slow down and let the CPU pass you so they get hit with the blue shell. I used to do that shit in DS all the time. You got a Dark Chow here. Forcibly grants items to all machines. If a player already has an item, a new one will be selected. So I guess that's only bad if you got a really good item, because then it gets replaced with some mid item. But if you got a mid item, you might get something good. Doodoo Nicola donated €2 and said, I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that means at all. But thank you for the donation. Someone says support physical and buy Sonic X Blu-rays. I don't even have a Blu-ray player in my house. Like I deadass don't think I have one. Maybe my PS4 Pro? I guess the PS4 Pro? My PS5 is digital. I don't even have a Blu-ray player. Like I'm full digital like at this point. So I mean I have a vinyl and a turntable though. But that's for more like nostalgic reasons. Like I mainly stream music, but I do have some vinyls of some of my favorite albums. Void. Oh wait, what was I? I was on Dark Chow, right? Yeah, so Dark Chow is only good if you have no item or a mid item. If you have a really good item, then you risk getting a bad item. And then Void is attract items from farther away. Get rings and items and nullify some attacks. So was it like a magnet or what? I don't fully understand what this one does. So like you feel close to an iron box, then it like magnetizes it. Yeah, I'm not fully sure about how that works. But it says it's a defense item. And then shield is become invincible. Doodoo Nicola with the €2. It's a song. Oh, yeah. We haven't been doing song quests, so I didn't even think of that at all. I mean, we can do the song if it's not copyrighted, but if it's copyrighted, we can't do it. I'm not really trying to do too much song quests, because if I get copyright claims, then I have to disable the chat to get rid of the claims, and then when people replay the stream, then there's no chat. So I'm really like careful about that now. What is this? Why? What? Why? Why? This is the shit that Otani be listening to when he's about to remix some classic, you know, OG Sonic music. When they're doing the Heroes remake, and they're making the music for like Ocean Palace, it's the shit that Otani's listening to gear himself up so he can do the EDM version. I can't even think. I can't even like focus on what I was saying now. freestyle to it. Yeah, I'm not freestyle. Is this what the kids are listening to these days? Yo, Narami Yuki with the 25 AED. Thank you so much for the support. Yo, Clem, what are your thoughts on the confirmed slipstream mechanic for the Extreme Gear and Crossworlds? Also, what did I walk into? I don't know what you walked into. What is this slipstream mechanic that you're talking about? Like, is there something I'm missing? What does it do? Maybe we already saw it and I forgot, because like my memory nowadays is not good. It's not good. The air pipes from Riders? What do you mean the air pipes? Are you talking about the fuel system or what? I don't know what a slipstream. I'm actually lost. The turbulence when the ride is in first place. You mean like when they leave the trail of wind for everyone behind them to ride? You mean that shit? That shit was good. But can you do tricks on it though? Can you do tricks on it? I need to see how the Extreme Gear plays. I need to see how it plays. And I still don't get how they shoehorned it into this game though, like, because how's everyone else gonna be riding in a car and then you've got a hoverboard? Like, I mean, I guess if the speeds are similar, then it's not really cheating per se. Like, why not? I guess. You know, I wonder how it will work in the same environment. That's all. I mean, I guess it could work, but we have to see it. And the closed network test, they said there'll be no Extreme Gear, so they're hiding it. So, I mean, I guess if there's gonna be like, you know, the wind shit that they can ride on, then I guess the cars would have to be able to do it as well. They need to control similarly enough that both can work in the same courses. It can't be like the hoverboards are so different that it doesn't work next to the Extreme Gear. They have to play similarly. But anyway, where were we? Shield defense, become invincible faster and harder to blow away, even upon contact with an opponent. So you got a shield. So I'm guessing the shield will protect you from like the homing punches as well. But I don't think you have something like a banana they could just hold on to and just hold on to it indefinitely so you don't get hit by a red shell. Someone said Jason Griffith has to be back, who also played Jet's voice, or will they use old clips? I mean, this is Sega. They'll just get Roger to do Jet, right? Like, they got Ryan to do Metal Sonic. They would just probably get Roger to do Jet. Just call it a day. Like, look, I want Jason, but like, yeah, they've already got a Jet voice. Michael Yurchak has been doing it since 2011 in the Olympic Games. Yeah, they got a voice. As recent as 2020, so. What does he sound like? I don't even know what he sounds like. Let's hear the clips, actually. So let's hear the goat first.
He may be the fastest creature on the ground, but in the air, with me and my extreme gear, he's just a joke.
Alright, let's hear your check.
Are you guys really that blind to your faults? Where's the challenge? I knew my only real competition was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that sounds like Free Riders for sure. That definitely sounds like Free Riders. Free Riders voice acting. Oh my god. Oof, oof. What a hard time to be a Sonic fan. Ugh. Where were we? Tornado. Oh, it just says tornado and then defense. I just thought tornado defense. Create a tornado around the machine to protect against some attacks. Deal damage to other machines on contact. Spiked iron ball hazard. Road hazard that can be thrown ahead or behind or placed on the track. So this is kind of like a banana in a sense. A spiked iron ball. That's crazy how a spiked iron ball and a banana are comparable. Magnet hazard. Road hazard that can be thrown ahead or placed behind on the track. Attracts machines. Okay, that's cool. Alright. Garage and gadget custom. Customize your machine in the garage. Change out front part, rear part, tires, change colors, and even apply stickers. Attach gadgets to the gadget custom and unlock special abilities to use during races. Some gadgets are unlocked after multiple races. Alright, let's see what gadgets we got. Item stock swap. Use the gadget button to swap items in stock. After 5 seconds, they can be swapped again. Item stock plus increases item stock increase to 3. Add warp ring. Start the race with a warp ring. Warp ring will appear in item boxes. Is the warp ring different from the Crossworld shit? Like, what is this warp ring even for? That's what I'm trying to think. Attack item chance up. Attack items will appear more often. I like this. Defense item chance up. Boost item chance up. Hazard. So that means if you really prefer a certain kind of item, you can just use this gadget to help you get more of that item. Warp ring basically teleports you to the player in front of you and hurts them. So basically if you're in 6th place, you become 5th, effectively. Okay, that's decent. So you move up 1 position. Does that mean that if you're like in 2nd place and the 1st place guy is like 30 seconds ahead of you, then you just jump 30 seconds ahead? Like, could you cheese it like that? Because that's some crazy RNG. You know? You think you're about to get an easy W, you're way ahead of the competition, and then they just warp ring right in front of you before the finish line. Whoops! Like, that's gonna be like the blue shell on the final lap right before the end. And then you got the giant rocket punch, where the rocket punch becomes bigger, which I'm assuming it means it deals more damage. Ultimate drift charge adds a 4th level to drift charge. Charge all 4 levels to unleash an unbeatable boost. Unbeatable, eh? Speedy air trick, perform air tricks faster. So right off the bat, we already know what the best items are. Speedy air trick is going to be on. Ultimate drift charge is definitely going to be on because we want that drift boost. Those 2 are already going to be enabled. If there's room for more, then what else will we add? Probably attack item charge up. No, maybe boost item chance up. Yeah, I want the fast shit. So give me my speedy air trick, my 4th drift boost with the ultimate drift charge, and then give me my boost item chance up. That's the shit I need. What else they got? Technical drift. Drift charge will fill faster in land form, but the chances of sliding out increases. Sliding out? This is interesting. So, how hard is it to slide out of a drift? Is this I don't even know if this is a new thing or not. Like, is it like, what do you have to do to slide out of a drift? That's interesting. Like, I need to try it out and see, but, you know. The further back, the better items you get. Holding onto an item all the way to a second without getting Dark Child is good. Oh yeah, the Dark Child is a thing. If you hold onto a good item too long, you could just lose it as well. Alright, so technical drift is going to be an interesting one. Perfect drift boost. Release as soon as the gauge is filled to boost even faster. Oh, that's another great one. Oh my god. So, if you got speedy air trick, ultimate drift charge, and perfect drift boost, so it's like a perfectly timed drift. So it's kind of like the CTR thing, not exactly, but in a way, it's like an advanced mechanic where you time it perfectly to get an extra boost. It's kind of like the CTR thing, inspired by the CTR that you time it at the right moment and you boost even more. This is going to be a great mechanic for people that want to do shit like that. And not everyone has to use it if they feel like they're not going to time it perfectly. They don't have to do it. I definitely feel like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting having a mechanic like this. I feel like some of these gadgets are gonna be a bit OP though, where it's like they're so good that certain ones will just never get used, right? Like, because I feel like I'm looking at perfect drift boost, ultimate drift charge, and speedy air trick, because the tricks give you a boost when you land, right? So if you want to win, it feels like you have to pick the shit that's gonna make you go faster, right? You know, it's gonna be unfair for certain other people if they're not using certain like skills on. Alright, see you later, floating kites. I guess that's the point of the limited slots. Well, I mean, if you can hold, like, they said you could hold up to 6 things. So maybe the really good ones will take more slots, and the mid ones will take, like, 1 slot. But it does feel like if certain ones are just so much better, a lot of people will just use those. But I mean, that's not dissimilar to, like, a fighting game where people tier the characters, and it's like certain characters barely anyone uses it because they're so like low tier, and everyone wants to use like Ryu and Ken and shit like that, you know. So it's similar to that, where people are gonna realize really quickly, oh, speedy air trick is good, ultimate drift charge is good, perfect drift boost, and everyone's just gonna use that, except for like a complete casual who just doesn't know what's the best one and they just use whatever. But they said that it shows everyone what gadgets people are using, so if you keep losing a bunch of races and you keep seeing everyone using the same fucking icons or the same skills, you're gonna go, maybe I should use that too, you know. Even Mario Kart 8, like, I see some of the pro players, I subscribe to like a few of them, and they be talking about the best kart combinations to like optimize, and I'm like a casual, like I don't play Mario Kart 8 all the time, so like I'm just like, I just pick the kart I like, you know. But for them it's like, you gotta use this combo with that tire and that gear. I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that. Level 1 quick charge could fill drift charge level 1 even faster. Switching quick charge when drifting in landform could completely fill the drift charge with a switch drift. I don't know what that means, but it sounds interesting. Collision boost, collide with the machine to get a boost. So that's kind of like anti-grav in Mario Kart 8. You get that boost just for colliding with people, which was always fun. Slipstream enhancement extends the slipstream range. Oh, you can see a little the slipstream logo. Yeah, you can see like, yeah, this is interesting. Ring boost effect up increases the boost effect when getting a ring. Okay, that's good. Low rings top speed up increases the machine's top speed when holding fewer rings. That'll be good earlier on in the race before everyone starts grabbing rings. So that'll be good for like people that suck, you know, to have more speed because they're always losing their rings most likely. For those of us holding onto our rings, we're not going to be using that shit. Double rings, double the rings obtained. Ooh, that's a good one. Ring limit up, hold up to 200. There's actually some good picks here. It's not just a few good ones. There's a decent amount of good ones. Double the rings obtained because you get more speed and more rings. So if you have double rings and ring limit up, you can hold up to 200 and you get there quick. So the time it takes you to get to 200 with a double ring is going to be the time it takes someone else to get to 100 with the single rings. But you're going to be getting more of a speed boost. And ring steal means you get 10 rings from colliding with other machines. Hey, there's some good picks here. Oof. I might have to have multiple configs. Like, this is actually crazy. Ring guard halves the number of rings lost when taking damage. Okay, that makes sense for those people who take a lot of damage. Dash panel bonus, use a dash panel and get 5 rings. Blue dash panels give 10 rings. So we got regular dash panels and blue dash panels, okay. Runoff bonus, get rings when using boost items to cross runoff areas. Runoff areas? I think the picture is like off-road. I think it's like off-road. So if you use a boost on an off-road area, like as a shortcut, you get rings as a bonus. Ring range up multiplies the range to pick up rings by 2.5. Okay. Item attack ring bonus. Get 10 rings when using items to attack other machines. Okay. Get 10 rings when using items to attack. Oh, okay, when you attack someone, you get rings. Yeah, I mean, there's some good picks here for sure. Some good picks. If you got 6 slots, then yeah, I'm definitely gonna have the speedy air trick is a guaranteed yes for me. Ultimate drift charge and perfect drift boost will be next, and then I might want some of these ring bonuses as well, depending on how much ring speed boost is. If the max ring speed boost isn't that much, then maybe I won't use it. But if it is a lot, then I'll probably want to have. If I could only pick between double rings or ring limit up, then I'd pick ring limit up. You know, but double rings would be great if you lose rings, because you could get back up again quicker. So yeah. Someone said this game is gonna get demolished by sweats. Well, I mean, they have an online ranking system though, so they got like tiers. So all the sweats or whatever are gonna be like fighting in the higher tier, and then the filthy casuals who don't know what they're doing will be in one of the lower tiers, right? So it will, if the ranking is done properly, if they do it properly, then it should sort itself out, right? You stay in the region that you're supposed to be in based on the level of play you got. If they do it properly, you know, that's the way I see it. If the ranking system is too lenient, like if it's like 10 points for a win and then only 1 point for a loss, then everyone's just gonna make it to legend just by playing enough hours, and then it defeats the purpose. The ranking has to be strict, to where if you're getting below a certain position, you shouldn't be ranking up. So it really depends on how well they implement the ranked system on online. A lot of this game's quality hinges on online support and how well they support. So it really is up to them when it comes to that. How many pages we got left? Okay, 2 pages. Okay. So they got recommended gadgets. Speedy Air Trick. They recommended that. So Speedy Air Trick uses 2 slots. So the maximum you can hold is 6 slots. You start with 3. We already know Speedy Air Trick is 2. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to get everything. But if Speedy Air Trick is 2, Ultimate Drift Charge is 2, and Perfect Drift Boost is 2, then quite frankly, I'll just use those 3 and then I'm done. I'm good. Those 3 alone. If there's room for something else, then I'll put something else in there. But those 3 alone seem like the best ones already. You know? That's the way I see it. But Speedy Air Trick is 2. Dash panel bonus is 2. I'm not gonna go cross-reference all the images to see which one is which, but they got like sets if you like a certain thing. Collide with others to get booster ring bonuses. Great for power types. A gadget set for collecting as many rings as possible. It depends on if you're grinding for shit as well. We saw red rings in the tracks, right? Let's say getting rings can be used to buy customizations in game. It might be a thing where you use a ring collection set just so you can stack up rings to unlock some shit in the game, like cosmetics or something. In which case you might have like days where you use your ring collection set for unlocking shit, and then when you're going online for the glory, then you use your, you know, faster set, you know. And then you got item control set. Take control of your item management with item stock swap. Use powerful speed items at the end of the race for upset victory. I don't actually understand the item stock. Let me see that again. Hold on. Swap items in stock. It's like swapping the power-ups you've got, basically. I think it's something like that. What else they got? Attack ring combo set. Make attack items easier to get and get rings when using them. A single hit with double rings equipped will get you 20 rings. Okay. Ultimate drift set. A gadget set that makes it easier to charge drifts. Built around ultimate drift charge. Recommended for. I think this is literally the thing that I was basically saying. Let me check the logos actually, because I want to confirm. I feel like that's exactly what I was gonna pick anyway when I was looking at it. The logo here is the +1, which is the ultimate drift charge. I said yes, I said that. And then what's that one? Oh, they got level 1 quick charge. Okay, so that's different from what I was gonna pick. And then what's the one that takes 3 slots? Switching quick charge. While drifting in landform, completely fill the drift charge with a switch drift. So that's okay. That is actually different from what I was gonna pick. But they are saying this is an advanced one, so I might have to try that set at some point as well. Putting Gamma and Zaz in the trailer before Silver is great. Silver was in the trailer though. He was there. I saw Silver. And then it says save data precautions for users. If your save data exists, download it first before launching the game. Okay, yeah, that's just a save data thing. But yeah. Moral of the story is what? What's the moral of the story? We knew Sonic Team were capable of doing more, putting in more effort. We knew Sega were capable of it in the 2010s, but they just chose not to because, well, I mean, it's their fault. They ruined the reputation of the franchise, which meant less people buying the games, which gave them less budget to make the next games. It was a snowball effect, really. It was a snowball effect. They had a car, the car stopped moving, and the Sonic movies came in to basically jumpstart the car. That's basically what happened. The battery died. You needed a jumpstart. You got the jumpstart now. Now it's time to prove to us that you're gonna, you know, take this jumpstart and take it to the stratosphere, basically. So this racing game is make or break. Can you make a game that's bigger than the single player games that everyone wants to play? You know, move millions of units, support it consistently for years. You know, this is their test right now. Right now, this looks like the most interesting of the regular racing games already. Like Riders 1 is obviously mechanically goated, but in terms of the amount of content that's here, like this looks like it's gonna be very strong. Obviously, we have to see what the closed network test brings in terms of Sonic fans playing it and what they think, because they're gonna give their thoughts once they play it. I know I would if I got access to it. But yeah, I hope they support this game. I hope the online is so good that I could go on at 4 in the morning on a Monday and still find some people to play with. That's what I want. Like 4 in the morning on a Monday, just go on and then there's still people to play with. That's what I want. If you can do that, then the online is working. You know, so I just hope they support this thing. That's what I hope. They seem to be ticking a lot of boxes. Obviously, when it comes to the Extreme Gear, I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. Is it going to be good? Right now, I'm convinced that the Extreme Gear will, based on from what I've seen, it will probably be better than Zero Grab and Free Riders for sure. But that original Riders mechanics, they were really special. I don't know if they'll hit that level. But even if they don't hit that level, if the overall game is fun, then it's still cool. You know, if the Extreme Gear doesn't hit the level that I want it to hit, then I guess I'll just use regular cars and just see the Extreme Gear as a side thing. You know, the Extreme Gear would have to be crazy good for me to be like, I'm using that over the cars. You know, it would have to be like Riders 1 level of mechanic. You know. Someone said, so hyped for the Extreme Gear. Clearly hiding it is just the most exciting part of the game. Well, I mean, I'm a bit of a jaded Sonic fan, so when they hide something, my assumption is it's probably there's an issue. Because that's how it used to be, right? They used to hide the problems. So, you know, when they hit something, I was like, I remember when they were teasing Frontiers, and they wouldn't show cyberspace. And then when we saw cyberspace, it was like, oh, that's why. You know, I'm not saying that's gonna happen here. I'm just saying that's where my brain goes to when I think, why are they hiding this thing? Why aren't you showing us this thing? Well, we'll see. I just don't understand how it's gonna integrate. That's all. I want to know how it integrates. You know, but I am hopeful. The fact that they've got these like recommended gadgets and these combinations, and they've got like recommended for advanced players, showing that they're still paying attention to the fact that some players are more advanced but still have the easier stuff. Having these things like this page keeps fucking not working. Like that website needs to be sorted out. But I was gonna go to the image of the what's its face. I was gonna go to the image of the online, which I can't find now. Oh, it's on this page. See, it's the wrong page. The focus on the rankings, like if they play their cards right, this could be great for everyone. Great for casuals, medium level players, and you know, the pros and the sweats. Like, you know. How did they not have Extreme Gear ready for playtesting? If it's a case of like maybe next month they say we're doing a separate test for Extreme Gear, then I'll be like, okay, cool, that makes sense. Like, you want us to do one of the regular cars, now you're doing one for Extreme Gear. But again, I don't know if it's a segregated thing where Extreme Gear is separate. Is it gonna be like some people are racing in cars, some people are racing Extreme Gear on the same race? Or is it like, this is Extreme Gear mode and this is a car mode? You know, that's what I'm like wondering. Like, is it integrated or is it separate? Let me check the trailer again, because I think in the trailer they would yeah, I don't see like any Extreme Gear here. Wait, hold on. No, Jet's on an Extreme Gear. Is that CGI? Scene? I don't even know. Blue Legend donated $5 and said, would you still rather have had that game be a Riders Ultimate? How did you feel about the Extreme Gear in this game? I mean, look. Riders is great. And I'm not going to judge this game for not being Riders Ultimate. I don't think that's fair. It's because they put Extreme Gear in that we're even talking about it. If there was no Extreme Gear, we would be judging it as a Sonic Racing game and that's it. But if they can somehow keep the ridersness of the Extreme Gear while still integrating it into this game, then to me that's still a win. It's not like everyone must be in a regular kart, right? You know, I think if you could do both in one game, why not? Because I mean, a fuel system could work with the cars if you wanted to do that, but a fuel system is a bit of an advanced thing. A lot of casuals don't like that. But there's no technical reason why you couldn't have the riders and the cars in the same game. There's no technical reason why you couldn't do it. When I think about it. I never thought about it before, but thinking about it now, there's no reason why you couldn't do that. You know? Someone said, fun fact, the closed beta for this game is happening on the same day OG Riders released. Is it? February 21st, 2006 in North America. 23rd February in Japan. Yeah, we got it in March. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, no, we got it in March. And then Windows got it in November. Australia got it in March. Yeah, I mean, if the whole game is good but the Extreme Gear isn't as good, it is what it is. Because I wasn't expecting Riders anyway. But yeah, I mean, I think the best part about Riders was the trick system and the way it integrated with the boost and the fuel system. That was what made it so good. They're not going to have a fuel system in a regular racing game. It's too advanced, you know, for the average player. You know, so I just don't think they would do that. So the trick system will be used for boosts like it was in Riders, but it won't be like a fuel system. Does that make sense? Where's Wave and Storm? Well, if they brought back Jet, they might bring back Wave and Storm. But maybe not on launch. I don't know. Someone said, what's one change you actually want the Heroes remake to make from the original? Well, aside from the obvious thing like graphics. Don't cap the save files at 99 hours. We're gonna play more than 99 hours. That shit always pissed me off. You know, why have you got 99 save files? You assume I'm gonna create 99 save files, but then you also think I'll never go past 99 hours on one save file. That I would just switch between save files? I don't understand why they did that shit. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into hero stuff because then we'll be here forever. It looks so much better in 4K though compared to like what they were showing with the other thing, IGN. Zone that ain't $2.79. It says special stages need a change. I mean, I don't want to spoil my video. I got notes. I got notes on that. But I've got some serious thoughts on that. Oh my god, the rider stuff. Oh my god. Man. Oh my god. The extreme gear. I do want to see how they do it. I do want to see how they do it. I am very curious as to if it's a thing that's well implemented or if it's a thing that was like just kind of shoehorned together. That's what I want to know, basically. He's got a different board here to the blue one, so multiple boards. But yeah, I do think it's a good... I think it was a smart idea to mix the racing with the extreme gear in one game. I think it was a smart idea because it's like it unifies it. It doesn't have to be separate, you know? I don't think it has to be separate. And I said this shit before with when people would debate boost versus adventure gameplay. I said, why does it have to be separate? Why can't you have a Sonic game where one character plays like boost, like say Sonic boosts, and then you have another character that plays like adventure gameplay, like maybe Shadow or someone else? Why not have both in the same game? You know, I always used to say that shit, like, there's no reason why you have to make this is an adventure game, this is a boost game. You could just have both. They have their own campaigns. One plays like a boost Sonic, one plays like an adventure kind of game. And I feel like the same thing applies here. There's nothing with the rider's gameplay that couldn't be done with a car in terms of mechanically. It would just look different on the screen. You can drift, you can do tricks. You could have a fuel system if you wanted to, which they probably won't, but you could. And you have a boost system. You can use items, you can grab rings. There's no real reason why you couldn't have a hoverboard and a car and have them together in the same race. So it makes sense that they'll put them together. So, you know, I hope it works out. I really do. I hope it works out for them. The only thing I'm actually concerned about right now is how the extreme gear will play. But if it's similar to the main car races, then I shouldn't really be that curious because I already know what they look like. But yeah, my biggest concern is will they support the game after release? But it seems like they will. How's the online gonna be? We'll find out. And the extreme gear. Someone said, do you think this would be the best Sonic game from the 2020s? What did we get? Colors Ultimate, Frontiers, and Shadow Gems? We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Shadow Gems was solid, but it didn't have as much content. It's a single player game, so I might not go back to it as much. Frontiers was pretty fun. Single player game, had its rough edges. This is a racing game. It's a lot harder to fuck up a racing game in terms of like, it would be at least a B tier just off the bat. If they add tons of content to it and really support it and the online is fun, you put tons and tons of hours into it, it might be the thing that you play the most out of everything that came out this decade. You know? 60 FPS are uncapped. This is Sega, so knowing them, they're gonna pull some bullshit. They already said there was gonna be crossplay, so I see them putting a cap on PC because it's crossplay, you know. You're gonna be online with Switch users, but Switch users will be playing at 30 FPS anyway, so I don't know. I don't think they should cap the frame rate, you know. I mean, it's not like me playing at 120 is gonna really make me have like some significant advantage. You know, it's not Street Fighter levels of precision, right? It's a racing game, right? But we'll see, right? I don't know. I really hope they don't cap it. If they cap it at 120, at least it's not 60. You know. But we'll see. They won't cap it. Fortnite, you can play at 200 FPS on PC with console players at 60. Yeah, I guess the sensible thing would be to not cap it. You know, but I always have to assume the worst. So, I mean, Street Fighter being capped at 60 online, I get it. Street Fighter is a very highly competitive thing, and the mechanics are very tied to the frame rate. And at least they increase the frame rate when you're playing, like, single player, like on the campaign. You know, so I guess that's fine. But, like, if they were gonna cap it at 60, it should be online only. Like, if I play offline, single player, or local multiplayer, it should be uncapped. If you're gonna cap it online, you know, then I guess, but ideally no. Because the advantage you get from a smoother frame rate, I don't think is any significant gameplay advantage. Maybe for, like, timing that, the perfect boost thing, what's the thing here where release as soon as the gauge is filled to boost even further. Maybe for timing that, maybe it's easier, I don't know. But I don't see any significant advantage from playing at 120 over 60, except for it looking nicer on your eyes. You know, so I feel like capping it is a bit excessive. That's just the way I see it. But yeah, tons of info. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I get into the closed test so I can try it out. I'm looking forward to it. Interesting time to be a Sonic fan. If they pull this off, right? Like they make a definitive Sonic Racing game and they bring back Riders, and then we get Heroes remake and they don't fumble that somehow, then like 2010s will go down in history as the worst decade of Sonic ever. Like 2010s, you like, and I get it, right? I understand that the 2010s kind of did suffer from reputation hits that happened in the 2000s as well. So I can't fully blame the 2010s for that part. But then they also had their own fuck-ups in the 2010s as well. So, but yeah, the 2010s was, you know, it's clear that the best decade was the 2000s in terms of the amount of content. 90s got the consistency in terms of the main releases, but 2000s had way more shit. You know, maybe not as consistent, but just way more shit. 2010s had way less shit and way less quality. So, like, 90s had, like, the best quality, but 2000s had a more of a mix of quality and quantity. 2010s was, like, barely any quality, minus a few games, and barely any quantity. And the 2020s seems like it's going back to that 2000s era where it's like, we got some quality, but then we also got Colors Ultimate, you know? But we definitely got quantity. So, it's interesting, you know? It's interesting. Plus, when people talk about the 90s, they pretend that all the other 8-bit games and all that shit doesn't exist, so they can focus on, like, the run from Sonic 1 to Sonic 3. But, you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm gonna do a quick poll before I leave. How are you feeling about Sonic Crossworlds so far? Let's do the poll. Okay, I'm seeing A. I'm seeing a lot of A. I'm seeing a lot of A. I'm feeling A-ish. you know? Because if I compare it to my favorite Sonic Racing game, which is obviously Riders 1, the only thing I could say was that this hasn't improved is potentially the Riders mechanics, the gear. That's it. This has better graphics, more content. We haven't heard the soundtrack yet, but better graphics, more content. It's gonna have online support, bigger roster, like more modes. You know, it seems like it's doing a lot of things right. You know, so it seems more A-ish, you know. For it to be S, we'll have to see what happens when it comes out and how fun it is, you know. I mean, also Riders benefits from 4Kids though, I'm not gonna lie. You know, it benefits from that. But I just remembered that Mario Kart 9 is not gonna have Charles Martinet in it. I just remembered again. But anyway, interesting times. Interesting times. If more gameplay drops, we could do it on the stream. But as it stands right now, I think we're done for now. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. More content coming soon to the channel. It's looking like it's gonna be an interesting year for the Sonic. Hopefully, we still get the Heroes remake. If Crossworlds is the only thing we get this year, then I guess it is what it is. But I'll still hold out some hope until at least the Nintendo Direct in April. If we don't see it in the Direct, then it's probably not happening. But we'll see. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell. More content coming soon to the channel. But yeah, man, that's all I have to say right now. So, Daremy out.